black fire burns. Prophecies written in lessons unlearned. Mythic born power from lives we once led. But why do we rise when we should be dead? We dance in the shadows, fate calls our name. Three gods are playing their infinite game. Who holds the strings? Who holds the key? The gods are watching the old school 3. We're lost in the echoes, caught in the tide. Worlds keep on shifting, but we're still inside. 3 brave and lost heroes, torn in two, fighting for answers they never knew. We've seen these faces, we've walked these roads, but time resets and the cycle goes. Are we the players, or are we the pawns? Trapped in the story, but still moving on. We're lost in the echoes, caught in the tide, bound to the wheel, but we stand with pride. 3 brave and lost heroes, torn in two. We'll break the cycle, or see it renewed.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us for the next rendition of the Old School 3. This is a ongoing campaign, which you don't need to be here for all of the previous episodes. You can come in right now and enjoy. We give you a little bit of backdrop. We'll catch you up as the story progresses, and you can get to know the characters as we play. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here, and come on in and enjoy. This is the most interactive of all of our campaigns. You can chat with us, and we'll read the chat, and we'll chuckle along with you and whatnot. You guys can interfere in the game, as it were, which I didn't turn on those redeems, so let me go turn those on right now. Where are they? Let's see here. No respawning tokens. Rerolls, mythic powers. If we need heals, then it's very scary if we need heals. So we also have the Tangia Dungeons you can jump in and join. And we do have the panel up for Embervale. So if you want to create a character, you can use the code Epic Realms to create a character and level up your character for the next time we do an adventure. You can do your quests, adventures, and all of that kind of stuff in the panel if you'd like while we play tonight and kind of just hang out with us. So we are not running adventures tonight. And I did say that I was going to run adventures on Friday, but I've got a doctor's appointment, so we're going to run the adventures tomorrow on Thursday. So somewhere between 10 and noon, we'll start the Embervale adventures tomorrow, and then Friday will just be a regular video game stream whenever I get home and done with all my doctor's appointments and whatnot. So change of that schedule. With that being said, I want to thank our players for being here today. I am very excited to continue the story of the Old School 3. I did some work, guys. So if you bear with me while I narrate a little bit, and then Matt and Brian can kind of fill in any gaps that I may have missed in my backdrop, in my little starter here, which is I was writing up a prelude for the YouTube channel to kind of be like, this is kind of what happened in the last episode and what's coming up. So and I was like, well, this would be great to use as like an intro for the game to catch up anyhow. So there we go. Hello, Chav. Welcome on in. Hello, everybody, by the way. Hello, Chav, Zain Roddy Maba. Sometimes Squirrel is in here hanging out. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging. All right, guys. The story of the Old School 3 continues tonight. Now drawn deeper into the mist-veiled lands of Ustalav, where every shadow carries secrets, and history is never fully truly at rest. After their time in the city of Carrion Hill, the party learned more than just its legacy. They witnessed firsthand the political shifts that's taking place as former mayor Count Vanton Heggry, once mayor, is now the Count of Versex, and he has passed the mayoral mantle on to his daughter Sandra Heggry, a beloved figure and a symbol of local pride. Her upcoming wedding represents more than just love. It's also a show of global political strength, and even more so, it's a celebration for the city, as she is considered the daughter of not just a single man, but a people as a whole. The party, in the last adventure, met with Count Heggry to discuss the delicate task ahead of them, traveling to the noble courts of Ustalav to secure the presence and cooperation of the different, very powerful and prideful nobles of the adjacent counties. This includes none other than the Crown Prince himself, who they have gathered together and decided that should be one of their first orders of business. The stakes in this are high, not only to avoid conflict during the event, but to build support for Sandra as a future force in Ustalavic politics. While the mission was very clear, each member of the Old School 3 also faced personal threads of fate. Brian, ever guided by his heart, once again fell under the spell of a romantic fascination, this time with someone possibly well beyond his reach as the handmaiden to Sandra herself, not knowing whether it's within grasp or not, and not quite sure how to follow these threads. Matt also continues to feel the spark of divine purpose, seeking guidance on what it's mean to be exalted in the eyes of Iomade, hoping to walk with a higher path of service and light, but now facing these current struggles with the missions to come. He was also challenged with balancing the oaths and words with metaphors and taking things literally, not knowing where that line truly lies among the faithful of Iomade. Nick, however, has remained quiet, his demeanor calm but haunted. As a glimpse into his mind, for him, Ustalav is more than just a place of Gothic politics. As all three of us know, it's also a land soaked in vampiric history. And in every lifetime that Nick has ever lived, he has clashed with vampires. Forces that have not only opposed him, but in many cases unraveled every thread of joy he has ever had. Now he is in a country thick with vampire influence, and he wrestles with the quiet dread, will history repeat itself once more? Just as the meeting with Count Heggry concluded, the unexpected occurred. The parties boarded the Count's carriage only to find the door to open again halfway through their journey. And in stepped a man, well, they have met, but it seems like it was a dream when they delivered him a fated sword. Riley Savage had entered the carriage, he unaware that the party was already inside. A celebrated hero from the World Wound, Riley is known across Golarion as the greatest archer alive, having won both the Ruby Phoenix archery contest and the Keonan archery contest. He is also the future husband to the current mayor, Sandra Heggry. Despite his fame, Riley entered the carriage with no fanfare, but humility, arriving to take the carriage to meet the party for the first time, only to find that fate had orchestrated their meeting moments earlier. His presence was both grounded and reassuring, offering not just military experience, but clear desire to support the party with counsel and camaraderie, giving them choice members from within his guild to support them on their adventures. Lending them his own crew, they now move on. The party now turns their path towards Califas, the elegant and ominous capital of Ustalav, where I'm not going to read what I wrote because I think I'm going to cover that as well. So there, the Old School 3 must eventually walk the tightrope of diplomacy, carefully navigating possibly unknown vampire courts, royal intrigue, monsters, and maybe even their own haunted pasts. That is the backdrop of today's game. That is what happened last time. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, it seems pretty
spot on. Good.
Yeah.
Speaking of those NPCs you guys all got, you'll also get a boon that comes along with these characters. You might want to get something to write down. There are 4 boons that come with these players, with these NPCs.
Okay.
NPC boon number 1 that these members all give you, and I might add that all of these boons are only for you. So you can't give these boons to one of the other players. It's only for yourself when you make some of these rolls. Number 1 boon is these NPCs are always aiding another on any skill check that they have ranks in, regardless of the rules. So if they have ranks in those skills and you end up making that skill check, you get a +2 because they are aiding you, as long as they are here. If something happens to them, if they leave, if they die, if they're knocked unconscious, if they don't come in the building with you, then they don't apply.
Okay.
Boon number 2 can be used 3 times. Hello, Sapphire Wolf. Welcome on in. Boon number 2 can only be used 3 times. You can redeem this to get free advice or info from them. This is going to count as kind of like GM information for free. You can also use it as like a knowledge check on something if you'd like, and you just get the max positive result you possibly can. So not just a nat 20 on a dice, but all of the progressive numbers that go with it. Like you get inside information from the GM. However, it's very specific to the characters. So Andalek is for, and these can be kind of argued a little bit and negotiated. Andalek, it's organizational structures, military knowledge, schools, and training. So any information that can be brought that has to deal with any of that kind of stuff, you can use these abilities for. Brian, you have Winston, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You get this for anything that has to do with the working classes ins and outs. So whether it be servants or you know, all of that kind of stuff, the working class and their kinds of jobs. He also can do it for history, mostly Ustalavic history, and personal displays. By that I mean how to act, how to dress, how other people are acting, how they're dressing, what those things represent, what they mean. Kind of like almost like a sense motive sort of thing, or a I guess a diplomacy sort of thing, even though that's not necessarily a knowledge skill.
Okay.
But that's kind of what his ability can be used for. Matt, you have Jay. Jay's is merchants and appraisals, anything that has to do with mercantile business, or appraisal of things, or understanding what the value of something could be. Also anything involving the criminal or underground workings, as well as anything dealing with any kind of negotiations. So that is what 2, and they can do that 3 times a day, and it's basically like free GM info at the highest regard.
Oh, 3 times per day, not 3 times total.
No, did I say 3 times a day? It's 3 times total. 3 times for the scope of you
okay.
having them. Here's the thing. The plan is each of these towns you visit, and I'm not going to prop this as a surprise at you. You guys will get to swap out for other members of Riley's crew for the other towns you visit. You can keep these guys, but you can also swap out for some of the other ones. The dog and Brant are not going to be on the list. Just because that was if you get them, you get them, and that would be cool for this first adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the people will still be on there, and they will all have boons of something similar to this.
Cool.
Number 3, their third boon, each NPC can step in and use their skills instead of yours as if you did it. So say you're trying to pick locks, you roll their skill and you pick the lock using their skill check. Now, do they have many skills that are higher than ours? Probably not. However, their 4th boon is each NPC gets a bonus on all dice rolls equal to your mythic tier. I don't care if it's a die 12. I don't care if it's a die 10. I don't care if it's a die 6 or a die 4 or a die 20.
Oh, so not our mythic tier. Oh,
You get a
I misheard what
bonus
you were saying. Yes, so our mythic tier to all dice rolls.
to all dice rolls that they make, which then does apply retroactively to all those other abilities.
So question for that, because I know this is something that have seen Brian take a lot. If one of us has the power where our mythic tier is considered X point higher, does that count towards that?
It sure does.
Awesome.
So we're adding the surge die to the roll?
No, you get it as a bonus. So if you're tier 2, it's a die 20 plus their skill plus 2.
Oh, okay.
Or if it's a strength
Gotcha.
check plus
Okay.
2, or if they roll a die 8 plus 2 for damage, then you add plus 2. Whatever your mythic tier is, anytime you roll a dice check of any kind, they get your mythic tier added on. If you have a feat
Okay.
that your mythic tier counts as higher, that counts. Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Sweet.
And that also stacks with, like, if you have a thing where you command them to do something and then they get a bonus from that, you can stack that as well. So the next morning occurs, because I believed you were leaving in the morning. Matt, you did your a lot of your church stuff. You were going to go the next morning,
Mhm.
and you were going to do that. You did do that, I believe, actually. I
Yeah,
think we
that's
went
where
over
we
the
ended.
morning. We ended that in the morning. Brian, I believe we did roll your check and you forgot the previous day, if I recall.
Yes.
So we don't have to
Yep.
roll for you again. So yeah, all that romantic
Thanks.
stuff, like some of that stuff you forgot. All of the plans you forgot. Where you're going, what you're doing, meeting with Riley, all forgotten.
Gotcha.
In fact, as far as you know today, you guys are going to discuss maybe what the plan is as far as which nobles you're going to go find and exactly what you need to do and stuff like that. Welcome on in, Matrix. How are you doing? Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot my new little tool here. Let me get my little stream tool up here. Should work. I got a cool new tool that I have set up, and I keep forgetting to open it before stream starts. It just runs in the background and does stuff for me.
That seems about right.
So Matt, you return to the Heartland Warriors compound after your thing, and Brian, you're just getting up, and you're getting together, and you see Matt has left. Nick's actually, and you see Nick is already Nick's packing. You walk by Nick's room, and he's packing his bags to go, even though you're pretty sure you're not leaving for another day or two.
Okay. Hey, what's going on?
Just packing up for the trip. Trying to make sure we get everything sorted and figured out. That's when you walk in, Matt, to the upstairs area, because you're in that upstairs our rooms.
Mhm.
And Matt, you're already
We-
packed because you probably would have done that before you went to the thing because you knew
Yeah.
time.
Sorry, we hadn't. Didn't we haven't figured that out yet, have we?
Huh?
What do you mean? Yeah, we're heading out to Califas today.
Yeah,
We're-
we talked
we're-
with Riley and then the mayor, and
You-
we're going to.
Yeah, we talked with the Count as well. The Count said we should probably try and get the king and the people in Califas because that's kind of the headquarters.
Was Brian drinking last night?
No.
Because we've seen this before, but at that point he'd been drinking.
Right. No.
I mean, not actually. Fuck it. Brian will be like, "Was I drinking last night?"
No. I mean, you had some with lunch. We all had a little bit at lunch, but it wasn't anything. It was like a glass of wine with the Count. You don't remember having lunch with the Count
When did
in the
when
giant
did
library?
we-
The giant library?
Like Whole New World, not Whole New World.
Yeah.
Stockholm
I missed a
Syndrome
huge
song. I ran
frickin'
around
library?
Yeah.
I
And we found out that the mayor's handmaiden is quite spunky.
I mean, that's awesome. I guess
Nick because we saw the interaction that Brian had. We saw the look in his eyes. Nick looks at Matt and goes, "Something's not adding up here."
Well, yeah. So this has happened a
did
couple
somebody
of times.
roofie me?
Well, so
Yeah,
I'm
it has
kinda
happened. And Nick's
wondering-
like, "Yeah, it has happened. We just assumed it. Like, you're not the drink has not been helping you."
Well, so that's the thing. He did have something to drink yesterday. Maybe we should not. You shouldn't drink anything alcoholic for the next couple of days to see if it happens. Maybe you piss Caden Kalian off somehow, and anytime you drink, he like whammies your noggin. He skull fucks your memories out, something like that.
I mean, okay, but that really, I mean, that doesn't seem like a Caden Kalian
Yeah,
thing, right? Like,
and Nick goes, "I would expect Caden Kalian to fuck your head if you didn't drink."
Yeah, I mean it's so weird.
I get,
of an
yeah.
issue.
I am so confused.
I'm actually a little concerned
Yeah,
of you kind of like forgetting some of these things.
me
Um,
too.
And it's been going for a while. It's just that with where we're going and what we're doing and the town we're going in and the shit that's there, this could turn really bad really quick for all of us.
Yeah.
Especially given
Okay.
and Nick whispers vampires.
Well, so what we need to do.
Wait, we're dealing with vampires?
Well, we're in Ustalav. Yeah, like all the gothic horrors here. Like this whole
Well,
country is
okay,
like cursed by
that's fair.
monsters.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, that was a dumb question. I get it.
A raid! Panda Rex! Panda rolling in with a raid! Panda Rex, how are you doing? How is your stream? How are things? Welcome on in, Raiders! Thank you for that follow. Hello, guys! Hello, Heavy Rain! Taden the Beast. Hello, Immortal Frog. Welcome on in. Petta's Hut. Welcome on in. Jin, welcome on in. Auska, welcome on in. Thank you for joining us, guys. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome. Hello, yes, you see D&D. We are playing Pathfinder 1st Edition tabletop RPG. This is known as our Old School 3 campaign. The three of us have known each other for 20 plus years, 25 plus years, and we're
old.
We're also old, so it's the old school campaign. We all knew each other in high school, so that's kind of the reason for the name of it. But yeah, welcome on in. We are all playing ourselves as ourselves in the world of Pathfinder, which I guess is now called Isekai. They call it Isekai, right? That's the current term for it. But it's a really fun game. Welcome on in, guys. If you want to hang out, we have Tangia Dungeons up. We do have Embervale. If you also know our other Be Kinder streamer, Shiny Evie, she does Embervale as well. So welcome on in, of course, guys. Go ahead and check out the one and only Panda Rex, part of the Be Kinder stream team. Amazing stream team member. Lots of fun. You were playing what's music? What's that? What is that? What was that you were playing? I've never heard of it. I don't know what it is. But yes, welcome on in. We are currently in the town of Carrion Hill, and we are in the country of Ustalav, in the county of Versex, and we are trying to help a wedding by getting all the nobles to agree to show up. That is the backdrop. It's a music guessing game. You play it on a browser and you pick themes, people pick songs, and then you go through and guess everyone's song. Oh, that sounds cool.
That does sound very cool.
That sounds really cool. I'm writing that down. And it's like a game that you can play with your view. Oh, that sounds really cool. That sounds awesome. I like that. I'm gonna, and it's called What's a Music? What's a Music? That is super cool. Hold on.
Do they have a movie version of that? Because that would just be like working at Super One.
I'm typing that in on our group chat so we remember it. It's free for you in the community. There's a paid option, but it's just super fun. That's awesome. I look forward to that. That's cool. That would be really awesome. Yeah, a movie version would be cool as well. What's a movie? We'll have to find out. We'll just suggest that. Let's do a movie version as well. Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for rating us in, guys. My name is Nick. I'm the one on the bottom. This is Brian and Matt. These are two of my oldest friends. We are playing tabletop role-playing. Every Wednesday night is tabletop role-playing here. We have a different game. We have 3 rotating games. We have 1 open week slot every month. So welcome on in, guys. And we do video games on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Monday is talk show night, where we have our podcast and our other show, Off the Pod. Our podcast is the Epic Realms podcast. We interview all kinds of guests, from tabletop game designers, role-playing game designers, TV personalities, actors, voice actors, you name it, professional wrestlers. So all kinds of things, authors, so many amazing authors. If you are a fan of D&D, trust me, this is the place for you. The podcast is the place for you. So welcome on in, everybody. We're going to continue on with our campaign. Feel free to interact, spend channel points. You can use channel points to help and hinder the players as well. And you can play all the games and hang out and have fun. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Pamda, for the raid. I appreciate you very much. You're awesome. Awesome. So yeah, Brian, you've been losing your memories somehow, and maybe it's drink related, but there have been a couple times that you're like, well, you wouldn't know. There have been a couple times that Matt and Nick know that you were not drinking.
Okay.
And yeah, like yesterday you drank, but it was like a glass of wine at lunch, so that would have been out of your system by the time the evening happened. So yeah, unless it's a Caden Kalian thing.
Well, we can.
Go
I guess I could try and ask him at some point.
Yeah, has there been any time where it's happened when he hasn't been drinking?
Yes.
There has.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened. There were 2 times in the when we were in the realm of the Mammoth Lords that it happened, that he was not drinking the night before. And then yesterday, technically he wasn't drinking either. And one of the nights in the tower, he was not drinking, because we really weren't drinking at all. We were doing like other things in the tower.
Is there any time where it happened when he was super sloshed? Like, does he have, rather than
Yes.
we're worried about him not drinking?
Yes. There was, so it has happened while he's drinking. But there was one time at the Pathfinder thing in Biston's Pond that he was completely sloshed, that it did happen.
Okay. So there's not, it doesn't feel like there's a connection about the drinking and not the drinking.
There doesn't seem to be a connection between the drinking and the not drinking.
Dang.
But you do know it started happening somewhere around the time that you did the Realm of the Mammoth Lords thing, when your brain was inside the machine of some sort, or maybe when you were fighting like the evil underground monsters, maybe somebody did something to him, or maybe there was a spell cast. You don't really know. But it was some time during the Realm of the Mammoth Lords that it had happened. And maybe it wasn't anything specific.
Ryan, can I try something? It might
Sure.
only hurt a little bit, and I'm sorry if it does. And I'm going to
Okay.
pull out a sewing needle, and I'm going to heat it up. And I'm going to stab him in the hand with it.
Ow. Okay.
Because we know that fire really affects the pod people.
Right.
And that was around the same time.
Right.
So if he's a pod person, this fire will like freak out like the alien organism in The Thing.
There is no freaking out unless Brian chooses to freak out, other than the fact that he just got pinpricked by really hot.
I think he's more just like, dude, ow.
I had to know. And it does suck. I am sorry.
At least warn a guy. What the heck?
I mean, I did say, are you okay if I do this? I kind of warned you.
It's not the same. You know it.
Okay, so we have two options now, Brian. You can either do what I did when I was running in another timeline than the rest of you, and you can start keeping a journal. But you have to understand that your journal is law. Or we're going to have to memento this and start tattooing things on you. Those are your only two options.
Or, hear me out.
We find a cleric?
Well, yeah, I suppose that would be the best thing to do. Trick is this because of something that we went through, or is it because of us being us? You guys aren't having any memory lapses, are you?
No. No, in fact, I've never had any memory lapses.
Okay.
Well, none that we weren't done on our own. You know, like the first time we met Riley.
Well, yeah. You don't have an animal. You do have an animal. Summon out your familiar. Let him be your. Oh, well, fuck. He's an imp. You could have him be your North Star, your guiding light for memories.
That sounds bad.
It sounds super bad. But I don't think he's forgetting things. Well, let's see if you remember. No, you haven't summoned him in a while.
Well, I mean, I'll kind of. Hey, Vassage, if you aren't busy, could you please pop in here? I got some questions for you.
What do you mean when you say, if I'm not busy? Is that just you being polite and you need me there?
Well, are you like it's not an emergency, but at the same point, like if you're doing something that's very time sensitive, let me know when you're done, and then pop in. But if you're not doing something time sensitive and can step away from it for a moment, can you pop in?
There's a long pause. Roll your diplomacy.
All right.
Because for him, I mean, everything's time sensitive, but also he lives forever, so nothing's time sensitive.
Well, and I'm trying not to be it.
I'm doing my girlfriend. Yeah, that's time sensitive. Sorry. I'm, looking at a coin. Well, I got to look at this coin. That's time sensitive.
I mean,
if I don't finish it.
If he was doing his girlfriend, I'd say when you're done and got cleaned up to come over. Like I wouldn't necessarily.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, whatever he's doing, like, everything's going to So he could be considered time sensitive based on what you're
That's
giving
fair.
him for parameters of his
Like that's fair. I
he
got
shows
a
up.
32.
He shows up. He he doesn't show up. Oh shit. He tries to show up. Pooh. You feel it and he's like, "Oh shit. I'm falling. Oh my god. What is this big chasm? There's water down here. Jesus Christ, I can't control the winds." Ah!
Passage, what happened?
Meanwhile, outside, the camera pans to the birds staying away from the little island area that the birds know not to stay in, and shunted to the outer grounds of the protected manor. An imp appears in the high winds that Brian himself had a hard time flying in, and does one of these in the air. He is like a bird in a hurricane. And he hits the wall and kind of slides down the wall comically into the water and slowly washes ashore. He's like, "What the fuck?" And that's all you hear. Like 10 minutes later, you hear, "What the fuck? Where are you?"
I'm. Are we? We're at the Heartland Warriors.
Yeah,
right now, right?
yeah, and just for scope, the leader of the Heartland Warriors is a gnome demon and devil slayer. Like, yeah, he did all that other stuff, but that's one of the things and the archer, greatest archer, but he's designed for killing demons and devils, and he has a peaked hatred for them, fighting the world wound, and all of his soldiers coming from the world wound.
So was he being attacked by that guy, or was it just that
No,
has
he was
wards and
shunted.
stuff up to...
He couldn't teleport in because he's an evil outsider, and he's not powerful enough to overcome the magic because he's just an imp.
Sorry about that. I didn't know that the place was warded against you. Tell you what, let me give me just a moment here, guys. We need to exit the compound grounds. Let's go for a walk.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
And I'll walk maybe like halfway between the Heartland Warriors compound and the rest of the town, like right about here.
Yeah.
And then like give it another try. Let's see what happens.
So, okay. And he pops in and you see him and his face, his wings are all like droopy, and his face is like he's like still got like sand and dirt on his face, and he's completely soaked.
I'm so sorry about that. I did not know that the place was warded like that.
He pokes you, but like in the shin. You're lucky I like you. And
Well,
that you know, Asmodeus has forced me on you.
And I'll actually use a first level spell to do like a cure light wounds.
Okay. Sounds good. You see his like wings perk up, and like the scratches on his face and body, and you know, any broken limbs he has kind of go away. You know, technically the fall should have killed him, but I'm not going to do it because that's kind of a dick move. We just make it more comical than anything.
That's fair.
He's like, "All right. So what do you need me for other than my astonishingly good looks?"
Well, and I look over to Matt and Nick. So we're trying to.
And he looks over to Nick and goes, "Oh, and your Afridi girlfriend is doing well." And gives Nick the thumbs up.
Nice.
We have some questions regarding. Well, we need your help as far as helping us figure out where I'm having certain memory lapses.
Okay. Why are you having memory lapses?
We don't know. So we're trying to do some scientific experimentation to get a better idea of what it is that is going on. And so, Matt, you're thinking I should. We're thinking maybe we need to set up kind of a daily routine with you and me to kind of report in a little bit, and you kind of be the keeper of that, so we know when I get whammied with the memory loss.
He goes.
Am I
He
thinking
goes.
that
Why don't we
right,
just
Matt?
narrow it down?
We've tried, but so far all we've come up with days that he has drunk and days that he has not.
Yeah, admittedly, we don't have a whole lot to go off of on that.
All right. How about this? I'll give you 6 yes or no questions.
Okay.
Hit me.
Wait, six yes or no questions I'm asking of you, or that I'm to give you to have you ask me later?
That you're to give me that I ask the powers that be and they give me an answer.
Oh,
But you'll owe me.
but it's a yes or no.
Well, that's how the spell works. Oh, and it's going to cost you 500 gold.
500, huh?
I do have a
It's
question.
literally he's charging you to cast the commune spell.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have a question for you, little imp.
What?
Um,
By the way, if
I
I'm
know-
playing him wrong, Matt, let me know. Since you
Oh
created him.
no, you're not playing him wrong.
Okay.
He loves his wife.
Yep.
So not girlfriend, but it's actually his wife. And this is one thing that I don't know if Brian had picked. He does have 2 forms that usually are like a boar, giant spire, rat, or raven, but they can be anything from the Beast Shape 1 spell.
Okay.
I had left those up to Brian to decide.
Okay.
So it's a small animal or a medium animal, and he gets to choose 2 of them. Because that form could be useful for you having him around, like if he looks like a black lab or a hawk or whatever. But that I have a feeling that having him in one of those forms might be kind of needed coming up.
Yeah, especially
Sure.
if you decide to take him back into the mercenary guild.
Yeah.
Well, but if he gets magic whammied right away on that, it like
It's
I
from
think the magic whammy was for him being summoned in.
summoned in or teleported. Yeah, he can just walk in.
oh
Yeah,
okay.
he can just walk in. There's nothing stopping him from that.
But like you could have him be like a fucking dog, which I
Right.
do have to say, like, you're definitely a dog person.
I am definitely a dog person.
Yeah,
That is
which
true.
also might be the reason why you don't want him to be a dog. Giving dogs a bad name.
Well,
Yeah,
But it could also be very fun.
I could see maybe doing a
I could
Like a
I could have fun having him be a
bird?
dog too.
as one, and then
my mic kind of, or my speakers kind of cut up. What did you say for the first one?
He said
So
maybe,
maybe a
some sort of kind of
bird?
bird.
A bird?
one of 'em?
Oh, yeah.
Just for me as a game master, I think a dog would be fucking hilarious, and there's so many fun things I could do with that.
I think
And
a
then-
seagull would be fun because of your time pretending to be the pirate.
It's
a
true.
seagull.
Because, like, while a parrot would be, like, thematic, I think a seagull would be way more fucking fun. More?
More? Especially eating shit he shouldn't
Alright.
be able to.
Yeah.
What is this? It's a carrot. No. What the fuck? Well, it is a seagull. I mean, after all, when really it's just an imp. Eats a rat. What?
Well then, yeah, sure. Let's do a seagull. Why not?
Okay.
That'll be funny.
I fucking love that.
And then like a dog, but like maybe like a
Coyote,
maybe
husky,
like a
misk, and we just use river.
no there yeah that'll work.
Up to you, whatever you want, man.
I was gonna say, or maybe like a little uh uh
A little
sorry,
like a little
brain
terrier or
farting.
Pomeranian or something like that.
Yeah, a little corgi.
A little corgi. Oh my god!
Oh, that would be
All
great.
right, he's a corgi. It's headcanon now. The imp
I
head.
dig it.
I love that.
Nobody would suspect. Of all the dog breeds in the world, no one would suspect the corgi to be a devil.
Right.
Oh, no. There's a reason why the English nobility had corgis for so long. I totally get that it's a devil.
I suppose. All right. At any rate, so yeah, he's gonna be in seagull form
Okay.
because the place is right there.
Right.
But he's still just talking to you with his bird mouth, which is weird.
Fair. That's fair.
And sometimes when he makes his motions, it's very like cartoony, where he's like, when he, instead of holding his hands out, like the wing bends in a way that it shouldn't to hold out its hand, like it would in a cartoon. Because
Sure.
it's not an actual form. It is, but like he's an imp.
Yeah, he doesn't have to conform to the way that his.
Yeah, the
Live
anatomy
then.
doesn't have to be accurate. It's just what he looks like.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So you come up with questions. You give me 500 gold, and I'll go and figure it out. Try and figure it out, and come back.
Well, and I looked at Matt and Nick. I was like, "Are you okay if we take a little from the group fund?"
Nick's like, yes.
Go ahead. I think figuring this out is very important.
All right.
He's like, all right,
Plus, we
just
have
you guys figure out
crazy
what you
mountain
want,
improvement.
and let me know, or do you want me to stick around? And I'll just follow you guys around.
I look at you, Brian. Up to you.
Well,
having a corgi around wouldn't be terrible. Nick and I both have creatures, so why not
true.
have a full menagerie?
He switches into corgi form and looks up at you with little corgi eyes. His tongue,
Yeah.
his little tiny tongue comes
work. I guess if you're willing, yeah, that'd be. Then we just have to be careful. Like if anyone is starting to give you the side eye or thinks you're doing something odd,
I pee on their leg.
no, you come to me
Yes.
right away so that I can help protect you as best I can.
No.
I can't share images, Nick, but I found the perfect devil corgi and I put it in the chat.
Oh, jeez. I'm afraid. Aww.
For the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cute.
That's funny.
I'm gonna let River back in real quick. I'll be right back.
So, I guess you guys walk back in. I'm gonna assume.
Yeah.
Go back in
Yep.
with the devil corgi. They kind of you and Nick kind of separate while they're talking, and Nick looks at you, is like, "You think this is a good idea? Like, I think it's a good idea doing a commune, but do you think it's a good idea having the devil do it?"
I would rather have a devil than a demon do it, and I have no access to angels or archons.
Suppose.
Like, at least we know that law can command or contain the questions.
I suppose. But yeah, we just don't. If he gets whammied by a vampire, we won't know it because we'll just assume that he's forgetting shit again. So
Yeah, well, so here's my one thought. It could be a blessing in disguise. If he gets magically whammied, he might just forget it.
that's true.
So, like, this could be a good thing.
I suppose. Guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm like,
Unless he's already whammied.
yeah.
Have,
So
have to be a dinosaur. Matt's got a dinosaur, Rolana Halo. Matt's got a dinosaur.
I have a dinosaur. So I guess since we're like apart, so and I think this is one of the reasons why I've had such a hard time with the priest.
And Brian, Nick and Matt have separated from you and the devil while you and the devil are talking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Since you had to step away.
So I
Gotcha.
think the reason why I've had such a hard time all these last few days with the priest of Viomede, I realize the way that my faith in Iomade has manifested is kind of based on the idea of how screwed we've been by creatures of chaos versus creatures of evil. Um, so I am fine with the thought of using this imp as a tool if it helps Brian remember day-to-day things.
Yeah.
It would be a whole lot different if we were asking Brian to use a imp or a creature of chaos. At least with law, we know that this creature loves its wife and wants to do whatever it can to make sure it can spend time with her.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that thing is not abiding to the rules of good and evil either.
Yeah, I think it is more in tune with, well, I have married this imp, I want to spend time with it. It does not matter if it's a good or evil thing. I am doing what I want to do because I have this
Right.
agreement or contract with her. At least that's as far as I can try to rationalize what an imp is deciding to do.
Yeah.
Interesting that it has a corgi form. I mean, I wouldn't expect a cute little fuzzy butt to be on something that evil.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it would make sense though if you want to get into I don't know, if you want to manipulate people. I mean, corgis are pretty manipulative, right? How many pets have we known that manipulate us based on cuteness alone?
Yes, but I know the human emotions, and cuteness wins out a lot.
Right. So you guys make it back into the compound.
Okay.
And again, like I said, all the people are there. Riley's on site. Sandra is not on site, and neither is the handmaiden that Brian didn't really ever get to have a conversation with in his own mind. So yeah.
Okay.
Matt, what do you think the perception check is to identify that corgi as an imp?
I can tell you, give me 1 second.
Because I just gotta play it like it is.
Because it's based on change shape. It's as if the polymorph spell for setting the DC. Oh dear God, the thing did not give me a good. Unless he has true sight, he cannot tell.
All right. There we go.
Yeah, that is the one badass ability of the change shape. It is straight up polymorph.
Except for the specialty skill thing, I believe gives you something. Remember? Like you can
I
see in
think
total
it's for
darkness and all that kind of stuff.
invisibility, um not for because he has it in perception, correct? We're level 16, so he's the 15th rank ability. So yeah, so he negates the penalties for sleeping,
Right.
and then you only
Distance
have the modifiers
modifiers.
for 40 feet rather than 10 feet. Nothing would let him see as if he had true sight.
Okay. Sounds good. So the only question would have been if he saw the shape change happen on the drawbridge, which it's so far away.
Correct.
I'm going to say no. We'll just say he was inside. So there we go. All right. So what do you guys choose to do for your asking of the questions?
Yeah, I'm kind of making a little list here as I go to
Yeah,
get some
I think we
ideas.
might have to figure out the questions as we travel and not do them right away. Like I have a feeling because of the monetary impact of it, but also like I think we want to really be sure about these questions as opposed
Okay.
to doing them like right now.
Sounds good. So I'm going to move you guys to the larger map.
Like the first one I could think of is like, is my memory loss being inflicted by a god?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you said earlier, is it because of us, whatever that means?
Yeah.
Well, our
Yeah.
multiversal selves being multiversal selves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because of our multiversal history of stuff tied in?
Exactly. I think that's.
Is it something? Is it something we can get rid of?
Oh, it's a good one too. Yeah.
All right. So you guys are at Carrion Hill, which is right about here. Your guys' goal is Caliphas, right about here. And I believe you guys were literally traveling overland. You weren't doing any magical travels, correct?
Correct. 'Cause we don't have a way to do it. I think the thought was to travel to Redleaf and then take a barge down to like Ilmarsh, and then either a boat from Ilmarsh to Caliphas or Ilmarsh to Thrushmore, and then Thrushmore does have boats
Right.
going to Caliphas.
Right.
Like we know that water moves way faster than we can.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Well, and there, yeah, for sure. Okay. Sounds good. So you start that over journey travel towards south towards Redleaf. I don't think a lot happens during that travel. A few days happen. You're on the wagon. Brian, roll me 4 will saves.
Okay.
Or
Plus
fort saves.
13.
Fort saves. I have written down specifically their fort saves.
Fortitude saves. Okay.
Yep.
First one.
Okay. You're good.
Second one. And then third one?
Yes. So on the second
okay.
night, so the first night, so the first day you guys travel. You stop, you make camp, go to sleep. Brian, you wake up and you're like, oh, we were on the road for whatever amount of days. Let's, we're a ways out to Redleaf.
Right.
The second day, you guys get to Redleaf. You stay at a small inn, nothing fancy. I don't know much about Redleaf because for some reason I thought you were going a different way, and I thought you were going down to Thrushmore. So, you end up down. You wake up the next morning. You wake up in the inn in Redleaf, and you're pretty sure you should be waking up in a tent.
I look around. Are there signs that like Matt and Nick are here?
Yeah, you guys are all crammed into a room together. The three of you and the cat and the imp and the dinosaur are all crammed in a little tiny room together, sleeping. And like you wake up, it's like early, like you know how sometimes you wake up early in the day? You woke up and you
Sure.
just happened to wake up at like you had to pee or something. And you woke up and you're like waking up thinking I'm going to go out of the tent and just go take a leak out on a tree, and you're like, where am I? Where do I go to that? Where?
Yeah.
And the cat lifts slowly, opens one eye, and looks at you. Because animals wake up, and even Matt's little dinosaur kind of turns its head when you kind of get up and start to rustle, and you're looking around.
Yeah, I guess I'll step out of the room.
Okay.
You missed one of the rewards, Nick. 50,000 coin of the realm.
Wait, what?
Why did we not have an audio for that?
It's not on the list.
Oh, I
That kind of
missed
missed.
adding one. Yep, I sure did. There we
Yeah.
go. There's the 50,000 point redeem.
Gee, Matt, why would you ask for such a thing?
Because I think someone probably is watching that has 50,000 points that loves fucking with us.
Oh, yeah. I
Or
can't
even people
argue
that have 50,000 points that just haven't done it yet and decide they might want to.
I mean, I am very tempted, but no.
I always joke. I'm like, well, just remember, I have more channel points than anyone else.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have yet to abuse that power, but I'm not afraid to.
That's fair. Well, I mean, I'll go do my
Yeah, you do your
business,
thing.
but
You're just gonna go back to sleep and figure it out in the morning.
well, how is it still nighttime?
It's like 4:00 in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back to sleep then.
Okay.
Do I remember at least having the conversation that we had about having the memory loss, or is that all that gone?
No, because that was 2 days ago, so you remember that. So you
Okay.
just don't remember the travel. Like you basically you fast traveled. You got halfway here and then you fast traveled to Redleaf. And you're like,
fair. I am going to then just well, yeah, I'll just go back to sleep for now, but
So the travel down to Ilmarsh is going to
I'll
be
make a mental
unremarkable.
note to tell him.
Yeah, the travel down to Ilmarsh is going to be unremarkable. We're just going to roll for your memory gaps. So if you guys want to
Okay.
work on what your questions are going to be during the travel.
Okay, well, I liked the whole is my memory loss being inflicted by a god? That's probably not a bad one. And I
Mhm.
like the is my memory loss something we can fix or cure?
Um, and then I think if it is something that we can fix or cure, we should ask if it is it something that can be, well, I guess, so Nick, for the commune,
Yes.
can we get an answer before we ask the next question, or do we have to give all
Yes,
5
yeah.
at
You
once?
can, if he does it when you guys are present, then you can change your questions as you go.
Okay.
Because if it said something that can be removed, we could ask, can it be removed with remove curse? Yes or no? And then we can be like, okay, can it be removed with like a
Right.
wish?
Right.
Can it be removed with a miracle? Um, because that might let us know like what the fuck we're dealing with.
Right.
You know, like, is it a wish, or is the affliction, will it end on its own time?
Right.
Actually, I like that one. Will it? I should. Of course, after you said that, my brain went to, will it end in my lifetime? It's like, yes, okay, great.
Which one?
Resurrect me. Like, yeah. Um, but I like the will it end on its own? That's not a bad one.
Mhm.
And again, you also have the 3 NPCs that are there. Technically 4 NPCs because um, you also have Nick's not cohort Quinston who is there.
hmm
He does not get the boons.
I
Quinston does not get the boons, obviously.
I to be honest, I'd like to keep the whole memory loss thing between the three of us.
I'm just saying for the purposes of you have access to them for whatever their knowledge for the journey, the
Oh,
travel. They're
yep,
with you on the
yep.
travel.
Right, right.
But
I
yeah,
don't necessarily want to share with them that
right.
on this important
Yep.
thing that I'm
Gotcha.
questionable.
All right.
Um, hmm. I feel like questions 4 or 5 kind of depend on some of the first ones.
Okay. Do you guys just want to kind of start and just go with it?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the way.
Yeah, let me here, I'll throw it in roll. Ba, ba, ba.
Because that way, because that may shift how or what you choose to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bam. The first 3 are in the Roll20 chat.
Answer number 1 is no. Answer number 2 is yes. Answer number 3 is no.
So I guess would a remove curse remove it?
I'm waiting for him to add that into the chat. Why is this not updating? Here we go. Yes.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um So we know we can do a remove curse.
Right.
So should we do something else with question 5?
Yeah, they don't have to be related to this.
Yeah, because you said we just get 5, correct?
No, you get 6.
We get 6. We could ask. I mean, we are employed right now by Riley. Will the wedding go off without people trying to stop it?
And the imp will also chime in to be careful with how you word it and the meaning of your word. So, stop the wedding or stop them from getting married.
Will the wedding go off without some other power trying to stop the wedding?
Or how about if I put it as, will their wedding succeed without interference? Maybe. Or without outside interference, maybe?
I like yeah, however you want to word it. I will back whatever you type.
I'm going to go based off of officially what you type as the final.
Let's try that.
No.
Ooh. Okay. So when
People
Riley-
watching, people that are watching that are part of United Galarian, keep track.
Actually, I do have a follow-up for that one if you're
Yeah, go ahead. This is your mini.
no, not would. Let's try will. How about this one?
No.
Well, that's good.
That's fucking huge. That is huge. That was a great fucking question, Brian.
You know, yeah. So at least we know it'll be more of an external, well, outside influence that will have some impact,
Mhm.
or will try to have some impact at least. I suppose as to what that means, well, we won't know it. Even with a yes or no, we probably wouldn't know.
Right.
We don't know all the enemies Riley has gathered in his years as a expert archer and all that other
And
stuff.
what else we don't even know about? What else we might not even have an idea?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And that's provided all the stories about him are true.
the fact that this all stems from the draw of a card
Oh,
and Matt remembering that you have an imp and me remembering that imps can commune once a week. You get spoiled information about the future of the wedding.
you're welcome, United Galarian.
You're welcome, United Galarian.
All right, well, and that was our 6 because that's all we have.
That's your
for
6,
right? All right.
And the bigger question is, so Where are we gonna get a remove curse? Because Nick's like, I can't do it. I'm not powerful enough.
Can you
Maybe
do
in
it, Brian?
Caliphas? I do not.
I know you have spell kenning.
Yes, but I believe. Yeah, let me double check. I think it's got to be a wizard sorcerer spell, but let me double check.
As Brian runs off to grab his book.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are Google. There's a 4th level wizard spell. Bard, Cleric, Oracle, Inquisitor, Paladin, Shaman, Witch.
Shit, almost everybody gets remove curse. You might be able to get remove curse, Brian.
Okay. Well, let's see. Actually, it can be on the Bard, Cleric, or Sorcerer Wizard spell.
Yep. 3rd level, except for Wizard, is 4th level. Everybody else, it's 3rd. And it's not on the Druid list, so I can't cast it.
So yes, I could give it a try.
Oh, you got
No.
3rd level spells?
I do have 3rd level spells normally, yeah.
Okay, cool.
You said it was a 3rd level spell?
Remove Curse is a 3rd level, everything except for Sorcerer Wizard. Sorcerer Wizard is 4th.
Okay. So then, yes. Yes, I could do it. Well, I can try anyway and see what happens, because I believe it's you still have to roll a thing to see if you succeed, right?
Caster level check.
Well, I'm a caster level 9. I can flex.
Yeah, and you got mythic points.
And this is where we find out that the DC is, because it's like a multi-dimensional thing, it's like the DC is like 50 or something crazy.
Yeah, it's
So
based on your
question
highest
for
level
you-
character.
Oh, shit.
Just kidding.
Damn you, Brian Fitzpatrick. Or
Probably was highest level spellcaster.
yeah. All right. Then yeah, I will use my spell kenning, and which I can do basically once a day, and cast remove curse.
Okay, roll that caster level check. I'm going to ask you before you roll, do you want to spend any mythic points?
I, in fact, do want to spend a mythic point, which for me is a D10.
Because you took that power. Nice.
So a 23. And I got no more hunk to add to that.
You succeed. The DC
Oh,
all along, from the very beginning, has been a standard 20. Except for when you succeed on your memory loss, it goes up by 2.
Oh, dang.
So every time you've succeeded, it gets harder and harder to not succeed. You no longer have the curse. You no longer have the curse of memory, which is the name of the card.
Oh, thank God.
effing awesome.
This is the, other than your wings, out of all of the bad things, out of all of the things, this is probably the most long-standing card that's taken place in this campaign.
Right?
And again, for those that don't know, these cards can change the course of the game. Or the characters, I should say. Hello,
You can
Sunstrider.
force one
Oh,
with
come on in.
50,000.
Yeah, it's expensive for a reason. And it can be really, it could be good. It can also be really bad.
Awesome.
That's fair. That's fair.
So
Now, the question, as far as the curse goes, do I regain any of my memories, or is it just that I no longer lose lose a?
you no longer lose memories.
Okay.
You could get a modify memory spell done to get those memories back.
Well,
And I say that because you are familiar with this workings of the spell because you've gone through it before.
Sure, sure.
Would he be able to use spell canning tomorrow to get him back? I don't know what level modify memory is off the top of my head.
Yeah, let me look. I'll look real quick here.
It is a 6th level. It's a 4th level bard spell.
Which I don't have 4th level spells yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's
So there
bard
you go.
only.
Wah-wah.
Cool, cool.
So, with that being said, you guys discover all of this as you approach the little fishing village of Ilmarsh. As you approach, they eye you warily. The people of Ilmarsh look at you as strangers in a strange land. They're all of them with pale, gaunt skin, look like they all have been working hard in the heat, sweating, glistening. Their mouths, you don't know if there's a lot of inbreeding that happens, but they all have very similar, strange facial features of these long, wide mouths and kind of bigger, like bulging eyes. If you thought me eating the one chip challenge made my eyes bulge, it's almost creepy the way their eyes are like sunken in and kind of bulgy around the eyes as you approach, and their pale, sweaty skin. They kind of like eye you guys as you enter the lakeside village.
I'll just walk towards, like, is there like a dock master? Like, is there an area where the docks where ships
There's a
come
bunch
in?
of docks, yeah. There's not really ships. There's a lot of boats, like personal boats, but no ships.
I will.
Is it more
That's
like
not true.
Where the
That's
boat
not
master
true.
would be.
There is a singular large dock for ships to dock, and it's very rickety, but it is there, and you see like an old beat up ship that is actually there, loading barrels.
Yeah, I'd go to the dock master first.
Okay. Roll a knowledge local.
Are we both able to roll for that?
Sure.
Or
Sure.
I mean, I have a couple ranks.
Keep in mind your cohorts. If they have if they have that as a skill, they are considered aiding you.
I have a 19.
If they have ranks in it, I should say. If they have ranks in it, they are considered aiding
23.
you. There isn't really a dockmaster. There's kind of like a lead boatsman or something along those lines. That's kind of like the town representative for the outside world.
Okay. I'll head towards where, like, would that place have like an office, or would I have to ask for that person?
No, the guy's actually on the dock. He's actually sitting on a little chair.
Okay. I mean, I'll make my way towards that person.
And he's kind of shorter. He's very kind of like plump. Like, I wouldn't say he looks like a bloat mage, but he definitely looks a little like swollen. And he's not sitting on the bench. Actually, he's sitting on the dock with his feet in the water, just dangling in the water. And he looks like he's an older guy, short, stout. Picture like a Danny DeVito type looking guy.
Okay. Yeah, just make my way up to him, like,
Okay.
Excuse me, friend. Excuse me,
he just glances up at you with those weird bulgy eyes.
I'm checking to see if any of the ships are going to be going to Caliphas or perhaps Thrushmore.
He's like, only ship here. You can go talk to the guy in charge up there.
Oh, thank you. Do you know his name by chance?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. And I'll just head towards the ship.
Okay. Make a perception check. You can too, Brian.
Okay. And I'm sorry,
If you want.
did you say
Perception.
sense motive
Perception.
or perception?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all right. 11. Perception 21.
27.
So, Brian, you don't necessarily notice, because your difficulty check was a little bit harder than Matt's, because he's
Sure.
was up close and personal with the dude. Matt, you look at him and you realize less that this guy is sweating, and more that this guy is kind of slimy.
Okay. I will not mention that to him. I will wait till we are farther on the dock.
You also notice that his toes mostly seem okay, but they do seem a little webbed.
I will also file that away for the walk towards the ship.
When we are kind of away from
The look on Brian's
Other-
face.
other people,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Nick, Matt, can I see over here for a second?"
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Here's a thought. Just
And again, Matt made the check. You did not.
right, but even with stuff you were describing before that has nothing to do with the
Yep.
check,
Yep.
Brian was already thinking of certain things.
Yep.
Truthfully.
Yeah. No, it's very
and being
iconic.
that being that Brian is me.
Yep.
So
And you've read a lot of Cthulhu stuff.
Yeah, and I kind of whisper under my breath, Cthulhu, and then I kind of look at the people of Ilmarsh or whatever is like, the people of that town
Oh,
had descriptions very much like this, and
yeah. Huh.
we will want to GT. We might just want to move north to Thrushmore.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully the ship's going to Thrushmore. Otherwise, yeah, we can just hightail it through.
Well, we could just follow the coast and get there.
Yeah, no, that might be a good point.
Because at this point, I don't like the way they're looking at us
Yeah.
necessarily, and it's apparent they don't like us, which is fine. I get that, but
Yeah,
I
outsiders and all.
fear their vibe is a little sacrificey.
Yeah, no. I trust your instinct with this, Brian. I think let's just head up to Thrushmore.
Okay. So you guys don't even talk to the outgoing ship?
Nope, we'll just
No, not at this point. I think
we'll
it's
just migrate up to Thrushmore.
I'll give you a perception check first.
sure. I got a 22.
Because you can, you're
Hey,
on the docks, so.
I did one better.
Well, fuck. 36.
With a 22 and a 36, the people on the ship all look normal.
I'll leave it up to Brian.
I'll be honest. And this is totally based off of irrational fears.
Yeah.
That knowing Cthulhu is potentially a real thing here.
Yep. So you
Even
guys,
though Cthulhu comes from the place in between time and space or whatever, it still looks like a squid creature, which is usually in the water, as well as whatever horrible water minions that they sacrifice things to. I think we should stay on earth and ground as much as humanly fucking possible.
Okay.
so you guys walked to Thrushmore.
Yep. And with that, I need to take a bathroom break quick.
All right. Take a bathroom break, and we'll be right back, guys, in just a short bit. As we take a break, we will return to Thrushmore. Thank you guys for hanging out here. Feel free to use the Tangia Dungeons. Feel free to level up your character for Embervale. We will be doing Embervale tomorrow instead of Friday, so come and join us tomorrow about sometime between 10 and noon Central Time. We'll be starting Embervale live here on stream. So we'll be right back with more of the Old School 3. So you see that guy shows up and swings at you, and it scrapes across your armor as you cast your spell.
Cool. Mithril breastplate, bitch.
All right, Majenko flies over. Labrisa, I've got you!
Can he do a flyby heal?
Sure.
Get out! Get out! No!
Sure, he'll go right there.
Oh.
Glad y'all came to our hootenanny. Good to see you, boss. How you enjoying yourself so far? Hey, get her another ale on me. No, get her 2 ales on me.
Ew.
Oh my god.
The
Why
croaky
not?
bartender
I
comes
should
back
just start
and sets
drinking.
2 mugs.
I am sorry, I am trying to be helping, but
What happened to Trinia?
she just disappeared.
I did.
We lost the
I
kid.
am not understanding. She just got hit by one of those raisins. She disappeared. She is gone.
And Arabella said I turned to stone?
You were a statue. Must come back.
You know what? I just give him a hug. A big
Okay.
chalky hug.
Okay.
This is not the time!
Let's get this battle underway. We're going down. Get down, get down. Biddle-lip. Jungle boogie.
He just side eyes you and looks at Arabella and says, of all the places you wanted to fucking teleport us, you brought us right in front of the king's nose.
Yeah, because I have to warn the fucking king. So you should probably leave. Go slink off into your little hole. And maybe warn your people.
He looks like he's about to punch you.
There is a 1,000-year-old dragon burning down a city with over 100 giants right now. I don't
Remember-
have time.
Remember, the only reason that any of that worked back there is because of me.
Yeah. Do you want a prize?
Doesn't look like
only
it on
has
our
to.
side.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that prepared. He is going to. Oh, he can. He's gonna unload one of his most powerful spells at all of you.
Fuck.
Magic missile.
Kill.
You can read that there is a contemplation about the others in the room and their responses, regardless of what his answer is.
As in, he's concerned about what his response will be because of the people in the room.
Yes.
I kill everybody else in the room. It is Toivo's turn. Toivo appears, closes his eyes as you explain what's going on, turns its head to look at, or to its head so it's facing the Hound of Tyndalos. So Matt and Brian, you hear the cat just growl real low and dangerous. Nick, you hear meow meow, I can smell you, meow meow meow. Roll your attacks, please.
So you see that guy shows up and swings at you, and it scrapes across your armor as you cast your spell.
Cool. Mithril breastplate, bitch.
All right, Majenko flies over. Lumbracer, I've got you.
Can he do a flyby heal?
Sure.
Get out! Get out! No!
Sure, he'll go right there.
Oh.
Glad y'all came to our hoot, Nanny. Good to see you, boss. How you enjoying yourself so far? Hey, get her another ale on me. Now, get her 2 ales on me.
Ew.
Oh my god.
The
Why not?
croaky bartender
I
comes
should just
back
start
and sets
drinking.
2 mugs.
I am sorry, I am trying to be helping, but
What happened to Trinia?
she just disappeared.
I did.
We lost the kid.
I am not understanding. She just got hit by one of those raisins. She disappeared. She is gone.
And Arabella said I turned to stone?
You were a statue. Welcome back.
You know what? I just give him a hug. A big
Okay.
jockey hug.
Okay.
This is not the time!
Let's get this battle underway. We're going down. Get down, get down. Biddle-lip. Jungle boogie.
He just side eyes you and looks at Arabella and says, of all the places you wanted to fucking teleport us, you brought us right in front of the king's nose.
Yeah, because I have to warn the fucking king. So you should probably leave. Go slink off into your little hole. And maybe warn your people.
He looks like he's about to punch you.
There is a 1,000-year-old dragon burning down a city with over 100 giants right now. I don't
Remember-
have time.
Remember, the only reason that any of that worked back there is because of me.
Yeah. Do you want a prize?
Doesn't look like
only
it on our
has-
side.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that prepared. He is going to. Oh, he can. He's gonna unload one of his.
All right, guys, we are back. We are back from the little break there. We all had to use restrooms and pets and drinks and refills and all that. Matt did run to go get another refill real quick, but we are still back. The town of Ilmarsh is, in fact, almost word for word based off of the Cthulhu mythos of the town of the frog / fish people. Almost. I don't want to say word for word, but in canon, like what the city where that takes place in the world of Cthulhu, they literally just like, this is that town for Galarian. In all of the Cthulhu mythos, that's this town. I think the Galarian story equivalent is that they are all like descended from a lost ancestor of the Sahagin, and they're like a different ancestrage of the Sahagin, and they're more of like a human-y ancestrage of that, and then they've just always had like that genetic thing, and they've very much been of that outcast society. But yeah, that's Ilmarsh. I had to go and look and make sure that I was right and that was that town. Sometimes squirrel triggering a tangent dungeon. So you guys make your way to the town of Thrushmoor.
Indeed.
As you all arrive, you are greeted by Karen, the half elf. Just kidding.
Good old Karen.
Good old Karen. You didn't mow your lawn while you were gone. I called the city on you. Can I speak to a manager, please?
Yes, the manager's name is Mordock.
So, as you approach the city of Thrushmoor, are you doing anything particular while you are here? Or are you just going to try and find passage to Califas or travel across the road? Or what is your plan in the town of Thrushmoor?
Like, what time of day is it? Like, if it's nighttime, it might have, or if it's getting dark, it might have make sense just to like stay in our home.
Yeah, we'll say it's about 6 in the afternoon.
I forget. Do we have a house in this town?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, it was part of the boon for helping Mordock.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's near the High Mart. But I don't remember off the top of my head.
It was over right kind of in this area, right west of the Sleepless Agency.
Okay.
I forget. We have so many places.
You do. You have like 4 or 5 places that you have kind of sort of settled roots of, which is funny because like originally, for those that don't know, the original backdrop of this, I was going to place you guys in Korvosa and have the entire adventure, all of the adventures for the most part, up until Ustalav, take place in Korvosa. And I did all this research. I had everything figured out. And then like a week or two later, we were invited to do Curse of the Crimson Throne. And that's when I decided that in order to not have it conflict with my knowledge for Curse of the Crimson Throne, I took you guys out of Korvosa. So if you recall, the entire opening of the game was settling you guys into Korvosa.
That's right.
That's the whole reason all the other shit happened afterwards, was because I wanted to pull you guys out of Korvosa. So that it didn't conflict with Andrew's Curse of the Crimson Throne story. Because otherwise, like, I already had inside knowledge. Because I had already read the book. I borrowed the book from Brian, and I read it almost cover to cover. So I knew the history. So, with that being said, yeah, you do have a place. And I believe part of it was the that you guys paid somebody to take care of it while you were gone, right? And you sent... So. And, well, we'll get there. So you guys pull up with your cart to your house. And it's not small by any means. It's not huge. It's not a manor, but like it's got enough housing for the three of you and your party to be comfortable. Not everybody's going to get their own rooms, but there's enough room for everybody to, like, a couple people can sleep in the living area and be comfy, you know, because you guys did go and get some furnishings. The place did have some furnishings as well.
Right.
You come inside and you actually see a wooden box on your table.
Open it up.
And it's got a little card slipped in the top of it.
What does the card say?
You open the card and it says, I would like to thank you for your hospitality in giving me your home while you were out of town. The information you gave me before I came into town was very helpful in our endeavors within the city and negotiating with the mayor of the town. Take this gift as a token of my thanks. Signed, Salim Gadafar.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, open it up.
You open it up, and it is a writ signed by him for the aid of the Church of Pharasma in any Ustalavic town, with a smaller box inside. And by smaller box, I mean, like, it's still like one of those little treasure boxes you get at Michael's. It's still a decently sized box.
Okay.
I'll take a peek.
You take a peek. You see like little white somethings in there in the shadows. You'd have to open it up all the way to see.
I'll open it all the way.
Your current world brain can't quite comprehend what you're looking at. Your multiversal experienced brain that's been around the world sees a box filled to the top with vampire fangs. All of them imminently cleansed and cleaned. Like pristinely shiny. And you realize the lid of the box also has some protecting words in there.
I'll shut
You
the
can
box.
do a knowledge religion on the inscriptions inside.
Sure. Except I have no knowledge religion, so I can't. Well, I could do a scald thing. I could do a 14.
Okay.
Can the rest of us see?
Yeah. Everybody can see and roll.
Okay. You said religion?
Correct.
Yeah, screw it. I'll spend a point.
So she's a badass tooth fairy.
Key. It was the dude that helped you in the plane that you helped in the plane of fire. You met in the bar in the plane of fire. They came asking you a bunch of questions that eventually led him to Mordok. And then you guys gave him a key. Oh, and the key is in there too. The key to your apartment is in there. Because one of you gave him the key.
39.
Matt, these were ritualistically cleansed so that they cannot spread vampirism. In the eyes of Pharasma, which means when you go in and show them the writ and give them the box, the church potentially should either give you aid or give you something. You're not exactly sure how it works. but the box is specifically to be turned into the Church of Pharasma on your behalf, and it's basically like you're turning in a bounty.
Okay.
We should put these like in a bag of holding or something.
But yeah, they can't transmit vampirism anymore.
Sure.
I mean, they couldn't in the first place, right? But there are stories of stuff, and the Pharasmans see it a certain way. And you know enough because A, you know who Salim is. B, you've read, those of you who have read and know about Salim, know that he doesn't give two shits about the church. He literally did this as thank you. Like, he wouldn't have done it otherwise.
All right. It is added to the mundane list.
Thank you.
And it's just ritual. There's nothing magical about it.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is honestly probably a good thing.
Yeah. Like, I think. So I know that there's no longer a Pharasman church here, but I think there's one in Caliphas.
One of the biggest Pharasman churches in the world is in Caliphas.
Cool. Well, that's where we can drop those off at.
Like, I think it's like one of the
Yeah.
the top 3 Pharasman churches in the world because it's fucking Ustalav. Like,
There is
Pharasma is
death
the
in
number one
Ustalav.
worship god in Ustalav.
That makes sense.
So, you guys have the evening here. Is there anything you would like to do while you are here?
Yeah, I want to check in with the Sleepless Agency.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We should all do that.
And just see if they have any anything that might be able to aid us in like knowledge of either the prince or the person's name.
Lady Califaso? The Countess?
The royal liaison, Diodin.
Oh, Diodin. Okay.
Because if we can have something that can help us work with Diodin, that could help us.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So you go in and you find that the Sleepless building is actually kind of busy. They've got more people there working and doing things. You actually see, I had her name 5 minutes ago. The lady that runs the agency, you see her. She doesn't look so drawn. She doesn't look so harried. She doesn't look like, she looks like she's well rested and with it and together and like she's been able to like take care of herself.
Well, that's good.
You know, because before she looked like she had been up for 5 days.
Yeah.
Every day
like
you
she
saw
had the
her.
weight of the world on her shoulders.
Right. And in fact, the whole town seems to be a little brighter. Cassidia Wentz is her name. I didn't have to look it up. I remember it. Look at that. So she goes, Matt, Nick, Brian. She goes up and shakes each of your hands.
Shake her hand.
Oh, who's this little guy? Who are you? Aren't you the cutest little thing? And it just looks at her and doesn't even wag its tail. It's very not dog-like. And then it looks at you and you hear, what am I supposed to do in your mind?
I pick him up.
And I'll be like,
and I'll kind of crook him in one arm and I will pet him. It's like, be nice. And then I kind of And then I kind of move forward. Do that. Exactly that.
I
So
believe
that,
in
but a
Joe
corgi.
Hendry.
That, but a corgi. That's all. That, but a corgi.
Be happy and friendly.
Yeah.
That's funny. And then the dog's like, and she's like, she lives in Ustalav. When shit's off, she just, so what are you guys here for?
We're hoping that you might be able to help us.
Oh, are you
We're
setting up? Are
trying-
you setting up? Are you back to stay?
No, we are on our way to Caliphas. We have set an appointment with Royal Liaison Deoden.
Oh,
And we're hoping that you might know something that could help put us in his good graces. We really would like to invite the Prince of Ustalav to a wedding. And we hear that everything has to go through the royal liaison.
right. Out of character. All the invites have been delivered. You are just trying to convince them to come.
Okay, so I'll say we are trying to convince the prince to come to a wedding, and we know that we have to go through the royal liaison in order to get a meeting with the prince.
Oh. It wouldn't happen to be the Carrion Hill wedding, would it?
Do we know who, like, we were told to look out for people that were trying to, like, make their way into the wedding without an invite. Would we know who's been invited?
No.
Or, okay.
No, you just know that they're...
Yes, it is
The-
for
the-
the Carrion Hill.
Oh, she's like, I've been invited to that. I am looking forward. The more I hear about it, the more I realize that I really need to invest in something that looks really nice.
Yes. While we are in Caliphas, would you like us to see if any of the tailors or anything like that could make you something?
That would be fantastic.
Okay, hold on. And I'm gonna like, do you have any string?
It's like, yes.
Perfect. Because I'll have to get your measurements, but there's no way I'm gonna remember them. So I'm going to measure your shoulders with string.
She's like, how
And
about I
I'll
just
measure
give
your
you an
arms with
outfit and they can take it from that?
Oh, that would also work.
She mentions that I'm trying to find it. There is a place. She says that the Majesty Hotel would likely have anything that any noble could ever want or require, or be able to send you in the direction that you like.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was the name of the hotel again?
The Majesty. It's fairly well known and fairly spendy. And she thinks about it for a second. She's like, well, I'm gonna have to get you some platinum.
Okay.
He also mentions trying to find it here. There is also a also check out the area of Barragaro Road. It's kind of the commerce district. It's Well, pretty much anything you want and can find can be found in Barragaro Road. Whether you want foods and goods and road snacks, or you want to find wares, or if you just want to sell stuff yourself, you just find an open spot and you can set up.
That is good to know. Thank you.
And she's like, come to my office with me. And she goes in.
I'll head to her office.
I follow.
You head into her office, and it's clean and organized. All the books are on the shelf. All of her filing is done. All of that. Completely different from the last time you were here and or in town.
It looks like time has been kind. Does that look to like everything being cleaned up?
She's like, she nods. She says, well, with people coming into Thrushmore and workers and Lord Farbringer getting actual guards and workers and a running city watch now, I am back to just running the Sleepless Agency.
Very nice.
And
Gives you a little bit of a breather.
And he paid me handsomely, and I made quite some contacts. So it was a lot of work, but I'm very excited. We're actually planning on setting up another Sleepless building in 2 other towns here in Ustalav.
Oh, wow.
One of them being hopefully in Carrion Hill. We're just trying to find locations.
Okay.
It's part of a negotiation. Apparently, Lord Farbringer knows somebody of importance in Carrion Hill. Enough so that I ended up with an invite to the wedding.
There are many. Well, so I did help clean the city with prestidigitation. That first day we were there. Were there any buildings that I could remember that might be suitable for her needs?
You don't remember too many off the top of your head. You heard that there were a handful. Roll a knowledge history. This is history of Carrion Hill. Again, don't forget you have NPCs.
Yeah, my guy doesn't have any bonus in there.
What's that?
My guy doesn't have anything.
I mean,
He does not, but he does have his 3 times per this adventure ability.
We could ask Winston.
I'm just gonna spend a mythic point for the day because it's getting close to night to take a 20 on the roll.
That works.
33.
So you know that there was Carrion Hill had a lot of people there that followed the Pathfinder group that was stationed there. A good majority of them had followers and people that followed them and worked for them, and servants and businesses that they had opened up in town there. And there was a fallout that happened, and all of those businesses closed and all of those Pathfinders left. So there is likely still lots of buildings that are empty there, not just from them, but the offshoots of the families who had lived there and the people who had lived there in the town.
Mm-hmm.
And any of those family members that worked in or had businesses that closed because of all of those people leaving. And this was about three or 4 years ago, so they might have filled in.
Mm-hmm.
But, who knows? And that place is such a stacked upon stacked upon stacked large city that there is most certainly going to be places that are available and empty. But nothing that you saw or can think of in the small area you were at cleaning.
Okay.
You do know that the old Pathfinder Lodge, very specifically, is empty and abandoned, but as far as you know, the Pathfinder Society still owns it.
I will just give her the information about the buildings.
Okay.
And then she can work out her whatever she decides to do.
Sounds good. She goes into a little thing and opens a safe, opens a door, like a door to a cabinet, and then slides the wall behind it and goes into a safe. She knows you're there and sees it, but she doesn't care that you guys know. She doesn't expect you guys to come in and rob the Sleepless Agency. And she opens the safe and counts out a few things into a bag, and then closes it, locks it, closes the secret door, closes the puts the contents back, closes the door, and then comes over to you and hands you guys a bag. She's like, that should cover the costs of the dress, and and she grabbed a little folded stack of clothing out of the thing as well. And it is like basically breeches, pants, shoes, and a hat.
So all the things that would be needed to make her an outfit for the wedding.
Right. And she knows you guys have containers of holding, so she's like not concerned about, it's like just shove it in a bag of holding and whatever.
Right.
She's like, yeah, if you can get it back to me or have it sent to me before the wedding, that would be excellent. Since I'm not going to be able to make it to Caliphas.
Oh yeah, what day were you planning on leaving? Just so we know to have it here by X amount of time.
She gives you X day.
Okay.
She gives you plot day that she's going to be leaving.
Awesome. I love plot time because this way I can tell the tailor that.
Plot day? I love plot day.
It's plot day.
Plot day is my favorite day.
It's my favorite holiday. Yeah. Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you for your assistance in this.
She's like, yeah. Oh, and she goes, and you wanted to know about Duodin.
Yes.
He runs a section of the town. So there's a couple different sections of the town. There is the city watch, and the command of the city watch is, he comes off as kind of a dick. He's not really a dick, but he comes off that way just because of the stuff he has to see all the time and deal with all the time as the captain of the city watch. But the let me see here. Trying to find my notes here. There we go. But you'll likely find Duodin at the White Shaw building.
Yep.
And he works in the Bureau of Special Affairs. Nobody really knows what that means. But I'm pretty sure it's like all the special weird shit he does that they don't want, that the country doesn't want the city to know about.
Sure.
And Duodin's kind of in charge of that, among other things. So the person that's in charge of that area answers to Duodin. Duodin answers to the prince directly. Duodin does other things as well for the prince. He's been a long-standing member. He worked for the prince's father as well. So he's been part of the city and part of the politics for a long time, but he seems to separate himself also a bit from the politics. He's kind of knows everything that happens, and he's kind of the eyes and the ears for the prince, I guess, from what I understand. And trust me, the fact that that's all I know is saying a lot.
Yes.
Because, you know, she's basically a spy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, she's the Sherlock Holmes of the Ustalavic world.
Sure.
And this guy is Sherlock Holmes' brother, essentially. She's like, sorry, I can't give you too much more info.
Honestly, you've
What
given us
you-
a ton already.
Yeah, what you gave us is a huge help.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, it's the least I can do, especially considering you're helping with the thing, with the wedding dress. She doesn't say the thing. Helping with the wedding dress.
Well, maybe you'll save us a dance then?
She's like, sure, I'd like that.
Cool.
And there's a long, awkward pause. And she's like,
Yeah.
well, anything else?
No, I think we are good. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you. If you need me, you know where I'll be.
Yes.
And just then, like, somebody knocks on the door. And she's like, come in. And somebody's like, Miss, can I see you about this situation that I want you to look over for a moment? She's like, sure, let me see. And hands her, like, a stack of papers. And, you know, she starts looking him over. And
We'll head out. So we're
She's like,
not
yeah, thank you.
intruding.
All right. You have checked in with the Sleepless Building. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I don't
You're
think
all-
there's anything else that I wanted to do here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I don't really think I have anything else I'd want to. I need to do at this location anyway.
Yeah, so I think just rest and then get ready to head out. Oh, I guess could we see if there is a boat heading out to Califast tomorrow?
Yes. And yeah, there is a boat heading to Califas. They said the boat is going to be docking here probably late tonight and leave tomorrow around noonish.
Awesome.
They said the boat is it's a fish boat. It loads up on fish for the marketplaces in Califas and other places.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So
Yeah, I guess just be yeah.
Okay. Sounds
Go
good.
to bed, be ready to come out in the morning.
All right. Nick spends the evening visiting where he was fishing, the few times he was fishing, and visiting the few villagers he hung out with to go and ask about fishing. So he comes back, I don't know, like 10 o'clock
Sure.
at night. Later than he would if he was out fishing, right? Because it gets dark. And it's not like they have boat lights, right? They'd have lanterns and whatnot, but that, you know, you come in when it's dark, especially in Thrushmore, especially in Ustalav. So he comes back and it's like 10 at night, and he left the cat with you guys, and he comes back with a bunch of dried fish that he traded with people for traveling.
Nice.
He comes back, he's like, guys. And he'd like this long arcing arm. The boot guy, people keep coming to him to hear tales about our monster.
Really?
Yep.
Hmm.
God, these people are way cooler than they were last time. I wish you guys were out there with me. And he like puts his hand on like arm on your shoulder.
Oh, let me tell you, Nick's probably doing what any guy dreams of doing all night. Maybe he was just out enjoying the sweet freedom of not being nagged, or perhaps he found a 24-hour nudie bar. But let's keep it real. Knowing my luck, he was probably just stuck at the shoe store working overtime dealing with customers. Now that's a nightmare.
Thank you. Thank you, Al Bundy, for that. What Nick was doing out all night. And yeah, you can tell he's had a few to drink. And he seems pretty in okay spirits. Considering how brooding he's been the last, like, pretty much ever since you guys got back to Ustalav.
Yeah, nothing wrong with having a fun night out.
Nothing wrong at all.
And so things progress as he sobers up, but eventually he just goes to sleep. Is there anything you guys do or talk about amongst yourselves or with your companions? Who, by the way, you see Quinston like is picking up Nick's things and like folding them and like checking stuff. You know, grabbing stuff and be like, okay, well, we don't want to forget that. And he's going to need some water in the morning. I'll get some coffee set up for the morning, sort of stuff. Don't worry, he'll be right as rain in the morning, guys. And he winks.
Yeah, I guess I would just check with Jay to see if there's anything that he knows about the district that that royal liaison Diadem is in charge of. To know if there's any like problems going on that we might need to fix before he'll willing to let us
Yeah,
talk
good point.
to the prince. Because like if he's like, oh well, yes, you must take care of this X, Y, and Z thing, like, oh, you mean these people, and show that we've already done it.
Right. Jay's like, I'll have to probably be in the town for a little bit before I know some of the actual ins and outs and workings of it. But knowing what I know of that area of town, that particular area is all right, but Duodin is in charge of the country. Like, his stuff isn't like section of the city wide. Like, the City Watch is part of the City Watch. But the stuff Duodin is in charge of deals with the entire country's organization.
Oh, so what he has or
Like,
might need could
he goes,
be.
Have you heard of the royal? Have you heard of the royal accusers?
No.
They are essentially the royals direct. If you see a seal, and he draws out on a piece of paper what the royal accuser seal is. If you see one of these, it gives them permission to do anything they like anywhere they like. They have jurisdiction throughout the entire country, and they have the jurisdiction of the king himself. They are very rare, and they are very scary, and they are the elite of whatever it is that they're good at.
Oh.
Oftentimes, people in my old line of work, if they saw a royal accuser, you usually didn't see those people ever again.
So you see them as they're coming in to pretty much wet work you.
They are the boogeyman of the lower end underground, if you were, and even some of the higher end workings. They are spies, assassins, killers, negotiators, but they all work for Duodin. He goes, Duodin essentially is the Zan of Ustalav. He doesn't say that, but
Yes, I've heard of this Zan.
out of character. Without using one of your abilities, that's what he would have, more or less what he would have said. I probably gave you more information than Jay knew, but too late now.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, out of character, when I read him and his backstory, I'm like, shit, it's Zan. It's Zan if Zan were human.
Yep. Well, Zan's human. when he wants
Human,
to be.
right?
Yeah, he's totally human. What are you gonna talk about?
Yeah, it's the old man version of it. Yeah, the royal accuser, the investigator, the what was his role? I forget it. I forget. It's been so long, but
The head of the Lightless Agency?
the
Is that what it's
Citadel,
called?
the Citadel. He was the
Citadel, that's
lead
it.
of the Dark Lanterns. Yeah, he was the leader of the Dark Lanterns.
That's what it was, Dark Lanterns.
But at any rate, so yeah, you get that, and I'm gonna say that you get that from Andalek, Winston, Jay, and Quinston. The accumulation of all four of those guys get you all of those pieces, and what you got from talking to Cassidia. The five of them combined and talking and intermingling is what gets you all of that information. Because I can't just put that all on Jay, because that's way more than what Jay would have known. But I could see bits and pieces of all of them, bringing all that information together along with what the Sleepless Agency information got you. I could see you guys getting all of that together from that and figuring it out. Putting the pieces of the puzzle together in discussion of the night over who is Duodin and what does he do. Because they all have little bits and pieces. Between Andalek's military and school knowledge and history and the fact that Andalek also is a rogue. And Jay, who is literally a spy. Like, literally, Jay, that's Jay's background. And Winston, who is literally a bard, I believe. Like, the amount of rogues in this room is quite redonkulous of rogue types between bards and rogues. I'm pretty sure all of the NPCs are bards or rogues. Every single one you picked. As well as Quinston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what you needed. What you guys thought you needed, so.
Okay.
And me, who is literally a spectator. Hello, tabletop. Welcome in. So the night ends. You wake up the next day. Nick's got a hangover. Just a little one. He just feels nauseous. The closest he gets to a hangover at this age.
Sure.
And Winston helps him out with that. Matt, you get up early in the morning. As has been, you've been getting up early consistently for many days. So I'm assuming you're the one that goes to talk to the ship.
Well, you said the ship arrives at noon.
No,
Or
the ship
are they
leaves
leaving
at noon. They were coming
Okay.
late at night, and they were going to be
Yeah, so
leaving
I
at
will
noon.
so I will meet up with the ship, arrange passage for all of us.
You step and you're like, where's the ship going to Califas? Oh, it's that one right there. And you look over and you see the same one you saw 2 days ago. It came here from Ilmarsh.
Cool. Well, we got to spend a night in our own beds. I'll just walk them, but I'm not going to mention it at all.
Well, and keep in mind, you know, you got not only did you keep a night in your own beds, but that's how long it would have taken you to leave Ilmarsh to get here.
Yeah.
Which means that place, that ship, probably stayed there a whole day.
Yeah.
You would have had to have stayed in that town a whole day.
Okay.
So you book passage. It doesn't cost a whole hell of a lot. They just ask that, in fact, if you're willing to, if you know how to work a ship and you can work on a ship, they'll give you passage for free if you just help do ship work.
Yes, I have a +5 profession sailor.
I was going to say, we have some sailor training.
All of you do, in fact. All of you have some skills in profession sailor. However, the other 4 are going to need to pay for passage. And it will be to Califas, it'll be 2 gold apiece.
Okay.
A whole 2 gold apiece. So 2, 4, 6, 8 gold. We can take out of our group fund.
I'll just take it out of the group.
Yeah, take it out of the group fund. Sounds good.
Can I negotiate it down to 7? Because we have 7 gold, not 8 gold. It makes it easier math.
You can go ahead and roll a diplomacy.
I would love to. And hiya. 35. Oh God, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you negotiate it down.
Because, you know, we're helping out. And
you're helping out and you're like, well, you know, I was the captain of so-and-so ship and I worked under so-and-so for many years. And these guys worked with this guys and we were part of the Pathfinder Society who did this and this.
Yeah.
And we've sailed all the way down to the, you know, we've sailed all of the things all the way down to the Mwangi Expanse, and we've been near the Eye of Abendango. I think your little ship from here to Califas, we can do a whole hell of a lot of help on the ship. And he's like, oh, okay. It's like, all you need to do, and like, you're like, but, and this guy, like, look at him, he's a half orc with a giant sword. If anything happens, he'll crush it. You know, and I'm sure you forgot to add your +2 from that you get because I'm pretty sure diplomacy is a ranked skill that your guy gave you.
So yes, another 2 on top of that.
So yeah, you're easily able. In fact, it only costs you 5 gold.
Okay.
And you can give him a 2 gold tip if you still just want to mark it off, but whatever you want.
Sure, we'll do that.
So you guys head on out. Brian, your reaction to seeing it's the same ship from yesterday.
Which ship from yesterday?
Or from 2 days ago. When you were in the fishy town. The village.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same ship from Ilmarsh.
Okay. Interesting.
And you see they're also loading up barrels here.
Okay.
Do you ask anything or try to find out any information or anything like that? Or
Yeah, no.
To Califas?
Well, I would ask, like, are they making any other stops before they hit Califas? Are they I guess just maybe getting a little bit more information on the trip?
They do have one more stop. They're going to be stopping at Vanton on the way down, and then they're going to follow the coast along to Califas.
Okay.
Ilmarsh, Thrushmore, and Vontil are their main stops in Avalon Bay, and then they drop off at Califas.
Okay.
So they will have one more stop.
Okay.
But those are their three major stopping points. You find out that the majority of fishing, the majority of fish that gets shipped out of Ustalav across the lake in Carthan, because there are specific varieties of fish that are only found in the Ustalavic area.
Okay.
Ship out from Califas, and it's one of the bigger exports, specifically from Thrushmore and Ilmarsh. Vontil has a lot of Lake Retiso and river fish that gets sent down to Vontil, and they pick that up as well.
Okay.
So this is literally, they make a big circle, picking up and dropping off the fishing for the month, and that's how they make that's how the ship makes the money. It doesn't have to necessarily go out on the big sea. Once in a while, when they're short, you find out that they will go across Lake and Carthan and drop off all of the deliveries of fish from Califas, or some of the deliveries of fish from Califas. But
Sure.
and of course, Califas has its own, shipping ins and outs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, nothing happens in your trip to Vontil. It's unremarkable. They show up there, they load up a bunch more barrels, the ship is full, and they leave to Califas.
Okay.
All right. On to Califas.
Charge.
There's the city map to Califas. I assume you can see it.
Yep.
Excellent.
It's a great map. Wow.
It is a great map. And I was able to find a map that didn't have any of the stuff labeled on it. So we can add them as we go if needed. So you're not like, what's number 12?
Nice.
I actually have the full map with all the stuff right here.
Cool. Very cool.
As well as all the write-ups, as well as all of my notes that are over here. All right. Are you ready for the next part?
Yes.
Oh, no, I didn't want to put that there. That's my notes. I don't want everybody to see my notes. This is just supposed to be a separate thing.
But I want to see the notes.
No notes for you. It's literally just me reading what my storyboarding. You drink some water here real quick. You guys sail into the harbor via Lake in Carthan to Califas. As the fog parts and the shadows lift just enough to grant you a glimpse, Califas reveals itself like a secret whispered from the mouth of a tomb. The city sprawls along the misty shores of Lake in Carthan, its streets winding and its narrow, its rooftops steep and shingled in slate. The buildings are tall and close set, fashioned from dark stone and ancient wood. Their windows aglow with flickering gaslight that barely holds back the gloom. Iron balconies curl like grasping fingers, and gargoyles leer down from rooftops, cloaked in moss and time. But none of it commands your gaze, quite like Castle Straeth, a towering monolith of crimson stone that rises from the highest point of the city like a dagger thrust into the heavens. Crowned with jagged spires and ringed with twisting Gothic buttresses, the castle dominates the skyline with a terrible elegance. Stained glass windows, uncannily vivid, impossibly intricate, burn with reflected light in hues both beautiful and unsettling. It is no mere fortress. It is a statement. A throne of ambition and ancient power, its silhouette forever etched in the soul of Ustalav. As you draw near, the wind carries a distant toll of bells and a low murmur of city life, though here, even that seems subdued, as if the very stones of Caliphas whisper secrets left buried. Behind the castle's high walls lie legends, the Hall of Peers with its 16 ancient stations of power, the gallery of ancestors lined with ever-watchful portraits of the royal archives, whose vaults possibly hold truths sharp enough to bleed kingdoms, is what Winston says to you. Servants speak in hushed tones while shifting hallways and hidden oubliettes, and a palace designed like an occult engine, says Jay. A puzzle box of shadows and sorcery, Andalek adds on. The city surrounding it mirrors its master, beautiful, brooding, and steeped in a silent menace. Whether you come seeking fortune, knowledge, or power, Andalek says, know this. Over your shoulder. Oh, it says this as he looks over your shoulders and sees you looking at the city. Andalek repeats, Caliphas does not give. It tests. It twists. And for those who do not respect its ancient weights, it remembers.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
As you dock in the city of Caliphas. I spent so much time writing that.
Mm-hmm. I am going to be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. So carry on with Brian.
You get off the boat and you see the sprawling city. And Jay and the others tell you that we should probably get a place to stay. Your meeting isn't for a few days.
Okay.
And Jay looks at you. He's like, well, it's been a while since I've been in Caliphas, but I could probably ask around, or if you want to ask around, it's up to you what you want to do. It's up to you what you want to do. Sorry, he's got like this little lilting Irishy type accent.
Well, guess the trick is we as much as we're gonna get in trouble, we want to try to stay out of trouble, right?
I would highly advise you stay out of trouble. Yeah. I mean, best option is probably to get a place to stay the night, for sure.
Yeah.
And make sure we stay indoors at night.
Yeah.
And Nick goes, or else what? That's Nick's response.
Well, I mean, I guess the big thing is just, we don't want to create a negative impression while we're waiting to try to get in touch with this
And
noble.
Jay responds, or get eaten by vampires.
Yeah.
Jay just says out loud.
Yeah. The vampire thing is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Bro, you guys can roll your sense motive.
That is my, let's see, just
15, silly Brian, you don't have to look for trouble. It always knows where you are. That's tabletop.
right. 38.
Oh, shitty roll on my part. Fuck, 19.
So
Well, my it's also my performance singing, so that's why it's up there.
So Matt, you know Nick well. Brian, you've lived with Nick. You've been with Nick when he's been in kind of
Yep.
dark, moody moments.
Sure.
And in this lifetime, generally that means Nick goes looking for whatever is troubling him, and sometimes will get himself intentionally in trouble. Whether it's go and pick a fight with someone he's not supposed to.
Sure.
And the second the subject of we don't want to get into, we don't want to get caught by vampires, the look on his face is I do. When in truth, that's probably still a really bad idea, because
yeah,
you know where your skill level is at for fighting vampires from your previous lifetimes.
Right.
You're not quite sure that you're at that moment in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Like you have some powers, and you guys together as a group can probably take out a vampire or two.
Right.
Nick wandering out on his own at night, even with or without his pet, might not come back in the morning. So, in the back of your mind, you should keep an eye on him.
Okay.
And you, personally, don't know the exact history, the worst of the exact history.
Okay.
But you definitely know there's something up with Nick and vampires. Like, Deadlands, yeah, there were some vampires. There was the night train, but that really wasn't that big of a deal.
Sure.
But, there were vampires in the world of Dragon Age. But even then, it was close to being really bad for him, but not the worst it could be. There's definitely something else that you're missing that was from a world you weren't a part of.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Nick. You
He's like,
you run around. Do you run around with vampires a lot in your past lives?
No.
Okay.
Matt, with Brian saying that and Nick's reaction, you get a bonus on that roll, and you now kind of, oh shit, yeah. Now you kind of see the mood that Nick's in and what kind of stupid shit he might get himself into.
Mm-hmm.
And you understand the full history.
And I'll look at Nick and like, remember, here she's alive. Here, a vampiric black dragon did not kill her.
Wait, what?
What about the other time?
Still vampiric, connected through.
Nick looks at you, Brian goes, a vampire lord murdered and wiped out an entire town that I started, including my wife.
Whoa.
And then his master, who was a black dragon vampire, killed my next one. I had 20 years of life wiped from my existence hunting them down of one of my lifetimes. That's putting it mildly.
Okay.
So if I see a vampire, I'm going to cut its fucking head off. No questions asked.
Okay.
Good or evil, I don't care. And the other guys hear this. Like, there wasn't hiding his reaction from the others.
Right.
And they were all just like, what?
So, no, knowing Nick, knowing this, you're proficient with longswords, correct?
Nick or Brian?
Nick.
Yes.
I will unsheath my sword and be like, if you're gonna go around and you're gonna go after him, at least use this. Because it's our +1 mithril longsword. Undead Bane.
Actually, I also have an undead Bane longsword. It's
So
not
like,
mithril
if you're
though.
gonna go out, don't go half-cocked. Go fully cocked.
And he thinks about it. He thinks about it, and you see him gripping his sword, which was the sword that he killed that first vampire with.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally the sword. And he's like, and he pulls his out and he ignites it in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm pretty sure they also don't like fire.
True.
No. That's fair.
Yep.
Well, my gun can do fire, so yeah.
I resheath my sword.
He goes,
Okay,
and he
well,
goes, besides, you guys will need weapons. Because if they're going to come after me, they're going to come after you.
but I can turn any of my weapons into Undead Bane.
And he unsheathes the flame part. When he realizes that there's like onlookers on the dock area kind of staring at us. Go ahead and roll a sense motive.
Okay. 30.
34. My 6-sided rolled better than my D20 and D6 from the last roll.
So you realize, had this conversation taken place indoors, it probably wouldn't have been as showy. You realize that midway through this conversation, Nick remembered something that you guys were told to make sure that the people of Caliphas know how powerful you are.
And taking out a vampire or two or whatever would definitely do that.
This way it would make it so you aren't a target in the streets.
Mm.
And Nick was angry enough that he basically was just telling them to fuck the hell off, is basically what Nick was just telling them. Or he was telling them, try me. Or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what's the current phrase? What's the current phrase? Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out.
Look around and find out.
So you realize that,
All
but
right.
you realize that happened halfway through when he started to raise his voice. The raising of the voice wasn't him actually being angry. He was basically doing a show of whatever. And that's why he like drew out the sword and like held it up and let it ignite in flames where everyone could see. He was making you guys seen as someone that the vampires probably should leave the fuck alone. Because he really, as much as he wants to fuck with them and find out,
Mm-hmm.
he was remembered
Right.
of the mission part of the way through. And you both rolled so well that he might not even realize all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you realize that.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's skippity
Okay.
toilet now. Skibbity toilet. Skibbity.
I hate Skibbity Toilet. My nieces and nephews say it. Effing ridiculous. Ugh. Ugh. So old. The young kids say the bad things.
So he sheathes his sword. And is like, well, we should probably get going. And
Yeah.
you see Quinston gets up, comes out and he's like, well, we should probably get the wagon set up.
Yeah.
Now, there was no loading of the wagon onto the ship. There's no way you could load the wagon unless they because all they have is a little thing to lift barrels
Mm-hmm.
in Thrushmore. You're not getting a full wagon. You just realize this. You're like, wait, what? And Nick says that isn't the wagon in Thrushmore?
Wait, our super wagon?
No, our
Already made
super
it?
wagon is in Andoran.
Andoran, yeah.
Right, but wasn't one of our guys eventually trying to bring it up north?
So this guy here has his own wagon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That he had in Thrushmore.
Yeah.
When you met in Thrushmore, because you found him and he was there, kind of waiting for you guys to meet up with you because he owes you guys. He basically works for you guys now. He owes you guys. He owes Nick, and he was hired to work for you guys by Mordok Farbringer's wife. Not Mordok, by his wife.
Well, yeah, I just look at him and be like, so are you gonna meet us back here with the wagon, or
No, we'll just clear a spot.
I'll walk to the dock and shoo people away?
Okay. You see he
Get
reaches.
going. Move.
They're like, what? And so yeah, you guys clear an area, and he reaches into his bag, and he pulls out a little wagon, and he sets it down, and then he says some words, and you see it turns into a wagon, turns into the wagon with all when it was miniature. You're like, oh, I see my bag, and I see the our food sack and our rations and all on the wagon, and you just see it goes into wagon, full wagon form, horses and everything.
Interesting.
He goes, yeah, I can always hold 2 horses. The horses don't know what's going on. They can be any horses, but it's the wagon that's got the magic.
Okay.
Well, this seems good.
Yeah. It was a gift.
I'll just climb up in the wagon.
Since I'm banned and I can't ever go to near the borders of Keonan anymore.
Oh. I'll have to hear about that later.
He's like, that's
I'll
okay.
look
He's like,
towards-
that's okay. I don't ever want to go back there again. Tree raisers, scary motherfucker. And he's like, yeah.
That's fair. That is fair.
I'll look at Jay. Do you know a good hotel to stay at?
He's like, depends how much money you want to spend.
One that's protected from those that might come in at the night for a little nibble nabble.
He's like, well, there's a hands full on the Barago Road. He's like, wait, you're Pathfinders, aren't you?
Yes, but
More
the
or
rest
less,
of you are
yep.
not.
Why don't you just stay at the Pathfinder Lodge for free?
Well, do we know would the rest of them be able to stay as well?
As your guests, yeah. Well, technically everybody here is a former Pathfinder, except for Quinston.
Oh,
Everybody
then
here
yes.
was part of was
That's kind of funny.
Because everybody was one of Riley's followers, and they all joined
Oh.
the Shadow Lodge faction.
Right. Then yeah, well, let's go to the lodge.
Okay. So, you head down to, and I will let you guys mark it how you see fit. You guys go out and around to this series of buildings away in the bottom right-hand corner.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, you follow the path down and around. If you guys want to label it, you're more than welcome to. And as you approach, you hear Quinston says, "Man, I didn't know this place was a Pathfinder lodge. I only knew this was a lunatic asylum." As you guys get like within visual distance.
I've heard many times that people confuse Pathfinder lodges with lunatic asylums.
And Andalek goes, "Well, this one's both."
Oh, it still is. Huh.
Yes, as far as I recall, the venture captain Trice is still in charge. And is in charge of the asylum as well.
Interesting.
Could I local or something that
Yes,
person?
you sure can. You can too, Brian, if you'd like.
Sure. I'm sorry. What? You said knowledge local.
Yeah. Or if you think there's something else that's appropriate.
I could do a 17.
32.
With a 17, you do recall hearing of a venture captain Trice in Ustalav. That's about all you know, but you have heard of the name Venture Captain Trice. Matt with a 32. Yes, Dr. Borgamond Trice is a he used to be a full adventurer, and he has been promoted and retired to a venture captain. And he now runs both a asylum to help people and a Pathfinder society, wherein the two actually are quite helpful amongst each other in both research endeavors and knowledge of medicine and study. He firmly believes that humans hold the power within themselves to help one another. To this end, he has pursued his life as a healer, yet forgoes reliance of divine magic. So through his long career, he's done a lot of that kind of work trying to help and study the healing, which has brought him to Havengard, a lunatic asylum. And while many in Caliphas misunderstand his intentions and his weird unconventional treatments, this asylum has the best record of all of the asylums in Ustalav for successfully healing people of maladies of the mind.
Okay. I will inform my compatriots of that information.
So, you arrive at the asylum, and maybe he will help Nick with his vampire hatred. He might. Maybe he will. He certainly would have been able to help Brian with his thing had you not solved it by the time you got here. Should you guys found your way here? As the evening approaches, because you guys got here kind of later in the evening, I believe, and you're on the road, and ahead of you, you see a smaller carriage, or behind you, a smaller carriage almost following you.
Okay.
And
Does
it's
it
been
look like a
followed.
normal carriage, or does it look like a transporting members of the criminally insane carriage?
No, it doesn't look like it's not barred or anything. But it
Okay.
started following you about from here. This location in town is about the place where it started following you.
What time of day is it right now?
Evening, later evening. Like by the time you get in and get settled in, it'll probably be dusk.
Yeah, I'll just go get settled in.
Okay. So you pull up to the front of the asylum, and that the other carriage, which is still a little ways down the road, is still coming this direction. Now, you're past most other real turnoffs. There were like 2 or 3 other houses along the way, but it's on the road leading here and not to those other ones. So you're guessing it's also either coming here or following you after your show of display on the docks. As you see, somebody comes out, a gentleman comes out. It's like, yes, can I help you? You look like adventurers.
Pathfinders, but close.
Oh, are you here for the Pathfinders, or are you here because one of you needs help medically?
Here for the Pathfinders.
Then I will lead you in. Miss Linus should be able to assist you.
Okay.
And they lead you over to one wing of the structure, and you see he walks in with you, and he's like, Miss Linus, there are Pathfinders here to see you. And she comes out down a hall. It's like, yes, I'll be right there. He's like, well, if you would just wait in the entry chamber.
Okay.
Sure.
As you wait, you see the other carriage pulls up out front, because you guys can see right outside the front, the main windows. And the door opens, and out steps a lady who's probably, you're guessing, in her late 50s, early 60s. Very, very fastidious. Stands upright, shoulders back, and wearing some sort of almost ceremonial garb. You guys can feel free to roll a knowledge religion.
That is one knowledge skill I don't have. So let me, other than my, I'm going to try rolling for this one. It's not going to be pretty.
Also, don't forget your NPCs. They can roll skills you
40.
don't have. She says,
Right.
nat 20. Nice.
Yeah, I'll have Winston roll for me, because his roll will be much better than mine. Although he only got a 13, so there you go.
Don't forget to add your mythic tier, since he is rolling.
Oh, so 13 and then 17.
Gotta go clock in for work. Good luck with the game. Thank you very much, Tabletop. Have a good one. Thank you for being here and listening in. You realize whoever she is, she's wearing Pharasmine. She's Pharasmin of some sort. You see the holy symbol of Pharasma's spire, and like the clothes are very
Chat
Pharasmine.
redeems mythic point / inspiration.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Would you like to use that? Or will you
Yes.
bank it?
I would like to use that to add to my 13. Well, here's the question, though. Technically, that was Winston's roll.
Chat redeems
Can I add
mythic
it
point /
to Winston's
inspiration.
roll?
He is rolling as if you are rolling.
All right. So then
yes, you can.
I will use that point for that as for a surge die. So that would put it at a
Matt, you get one too.
18.
I'm gonna also use mine as a surge die.
Oh my god.
44.
Thank you, tabletop.
All
We
right.
appreciate you.
So, Brian, not only is it a Phrasmine, but you realize they are a Phrasmine priestess of some sort. Or
Okay.
a person that actually like is an actual member of the church clergy. Matt, you rolled
Yes.
ridiculously well. To the point where there's information that I will need to give you that I didn't think I would be giving away.
Well,
She is. So first and foremost, you get what Brian gets. She is wearing Phrasmine garbs and Phrasmine, a member of the Phrasmine church. However, she is not only a priestess, but she is a high-ranking official of the Phrasmine church. Not only that, but these are not clerical robes. These are inquisitor robes.
Mhm.
Which means not only is she an inquisitor of the Church of Pharasma, but she has also gotten to the hierarchy, which is usually only attained by clerics.
mm,
She has most Pharasman churches have 3 heads of state: birth, life, or birth, death, and prophecy are the 3 heads of the church. And usually the death priestess or the birth priestess is usually the head, the main head of the church. They're supposed to have 3 rings, and the 3 rings are supposed to kind of be the hierarchy. They're supposed to accumulate and make their decisions. A lot of churches don't necessarily do that. This one, you're guessing, is the death priestess, except for she's also an inquisitor of Pharasma, which means
Okay.
whatever she's done and however powerful she is very unique
mhm.
and someone that might be good to know in the world of Ustalav, where undead monstrosities exist on a regular basis. And if she's here and she's one of the 3 heads of a church, there's only one church in Caliphas, and it is one of the largest churches of Pharasma in the world. So you
I'm gonna
may be
use
looking at one of the highest inquisitors, if not the highest inquisitor, to the Church of Pharasma.
I'm gonna, in Pathfinder sign, say to Brian, give her a box of teeth. She's the one that will be able to help us with those.
Okay. Excuse. Now, was she approaching us, or was she just happened to be in the?
She go and
lodge?
she gets out and she goes to the other door on the right hand side,
Okay.
which is because it's kind of the building is very much the same, where it's got 2 wings and it's got 2 entrances, and you're guessing that you entered the Pathfinder side of the building, the Pathfinder wing.
Okay.
She's entering the Asylum side of the wing, and you
I will
also
try-
realize she is flanked by 2 other priestesses, who actually,
Okay.
Matt, you actually identify they're actually like low end clerics.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's really fun.
will maybe.
This character is actually listed in some of the adventures. She actually shows up.
I guess I will try to before she goes through the door to the asylum side of things.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dog! What the heck? I will try to approach her and be like, excuse me, sorry to.
She pauses and she looks over at you with an icy glare.
My apologies to interrupt your business. But I
She holds up
believe
she holds up a finger. Ladies, would you go and see to Mr. Trice and let him know I'll be there in just a moment? And she turns to you. Continue.
My associates and I are new to the city, but we're looking to get the attention of certain individuals. And I have something that I believe may pique your interest. I'll go into the bag of holding and I'll offer the coffer full of vampire teeth.
She immediately recognizes it. Of all the people, she doesn't even have to open it to recognize what the box represents.
Okay.
So much so that it brings her to without even a roll, she is now indifferent to you.
Okay.
Which is a step up.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
She goes, met a Phrasman priestess, did you? Did you take care of the contents inside, or did she?
Well, actually, it was a gift to us by one of your by a semi-Pharasman hunter. I guess I don't know what the exact terminology would be.
I'm going to rewind real quick. He instructed you to make it seem like you guys did the work.
Oh.
He wanted you guys to get the credit for killing the vampires.
My apologies then.
Yeah,
I will retcon that.
I'll rewind. You would have known.
We had a hand in some of it, yes.
She nods. She takes it from you and opens it. She goes, "Oh my, you've been busy."
Well.
And she goes, "Very well done. Fastidious work. The inscriptions are almost perfect. Must have been done by a gentleman." She closes it and flaps the lid. It's all right. They can do good work as well. Thank you for this. If you would perhaps meet with me at the Capitol during the day, or at the main church during the day, and I will speak with you about your visit here to Ustalav and how we can aid you.
Very well.
She goes, be it a monetary reward per teeth or other spheres of influence.
Probably leaning towards the latter, but at least now that we've made some introductions, I'm sure my friends and I would like to have a...
It's at this moment that you see the two other priestesses and a tall older gentleman come to the door, and the two are flanking him. And they're just waiting patiently.
Perhaps have a longer discussion about such things. But I apologize for taking you away from your ministrations here. And we will... my name is Brian. That is Matt and Nick.
And she glances over at them.
Nod. And we will then visit the temple during the day to hopefully speak with you again.
She nods. I will see you then.
Thank you for your time.
She turns mid thank you and just turns and starts walking in. She's like, "Ladies, let's go. There's work to do." And they're like, "Yes, ma'am."
So I walk over to Nick and Matt. I'm like, well, I think that went better than I thought it would, actually.
Think you did
all
a good
things
job.
considered.
And Nick's like, "So who is she and why did you give her our teeth?"
She's the head of the Phrasman Church.
Oh.
Wait,
a position normally
what?
held by clerics, but from her robes, I believe she is an inquisitor of the.
So I just approached effectively like the Pope of the Goddess of Death.
Not only the
Maybe
goddess
more
of
like a
death,
cardinal.
but like the head of death. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little more
Who is
scaroused
also
than
an
I was a
inquisitor,
few.
not a cleric.
I admit I'm more scaroused now than I was before, but yeah, okay. You maybe could have led with that one, Matt, instead of just telling me to go off after her. But it's all good. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be
I
fine.
figured had I explained all of that, she would have made it through the door before you could have given her the box.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's when Miss Linus shows up. All right, gentlemen. Sorry about that. I had to deal with some documentation that was brought to me earlier. What can I help you with? What brings you to Caliphas? Are you here looking for work, or are you here on assignment?
Looking for rest.
Ah.
And we are here on assignment from Riley.
Oh. Well, Riley's not officially part of the society anymore, but we definitely help his people. Are you members of the society yourselves?
Yes.
And you see the other guys are like, yes, and Quinson's like, not really, but I'm with these guys and hoping I could just stay the night. She's like, fair enough.
Kind of a squire in training, and I give a wink.
She's like, well, we can get you some rooms set up and show you around. We do have some food and provisions that can help you out, as well as some things that we can do to help with whatever your goals are. What did you say that you were here to work on? As she starts leading you.
The prince.
Oh.
What did you say?
To meet with the prince.
She goes, oh. She doesn't know what to respond to that.
Yep, I figured.
Yeah, it's kind of how we felt too.
It's a lot to take in.
She's like, you'll want to speak to Dr. Trice when he was done. It might not be for a few hours. Do you tend to stay up later?
We can.
Some of them will. I might be asleep, but I trust them to be able to speak what is needed.
All right. Well, you shouldn't hear any sounds from here. Everything should be secure and well on your behalf. You don't have to worry about the asylum patrons at all, or any of the other unsavory people that are here that we work with and help.
Okay.
If there is anything you need, feel free to find me. I'm generally doing what I can when Trice is not able to facilitate.
Mm.
And she introduces herself as Ceres Linus. Cereis. Just type it in there.
Is she kind of like the second in command?
Yeah.
I think right now just a place to put our mounts and to rest our heads is the big thing we need.
Sounds good. She sets you up. A few hours go by. Is there anything you guys want to do here in the next few hours?
Like what time of day is it?
It's evening. You guys got here right around sunset.
Okay. Yeah, maybe just get some like a dinner.
Okay. And they have people here that work here as part of the lodge that can facilitate that. you all guys also realize that it's going to be really hard for Nick to go looking for trouble way out in the fucking way out here. So it's a win-win. So yeah, I'd say at about 11 o'clock, Dr. Trice swings by to see if anybody's awake. Would anybody be awake?
Yeah,
I'd probably be asleep.
Okay.
I would try staying awake because I know we want to talk to this person.
I'm going to say even Nick is awake. Nat 20. Nick is wide awake. So Dr. Trice stops by and he just kind of taps lightly on like the outside wall to the like the little section that you guys are staying in, because it's like a corridor with rooms, and so you guys are basically taking up the corridor, and so he just kind of knocks on the corridor. He's like, "Is anybody up?"
Oh yeah, yes.
And there's like a common room outside. He's like, and Nick comes out as well. I would say Quinston is also up and comes out. And he's like, "Hello there, my name is Dr. Trice. I am the venture captain for the Pathfinder Guild here. It is nice to meet you." And he holds out his hand to you.
I shake hands.
And you are?
I'm Brian. Nick and Matt is currently sleeping.
Matt's sleeping. Nick shakes his hand. Nick's like, "My name's Nick. This is Quinston. Quinston kind of works with us, helps us out." Quinston's like, "Yeah, hi." And Dr. Trice is like, "Well, please come have a seat." I was like, "Hopefully you guys have been treated well. I'm very much sorry that I was not able to greet you on your arrival, but I had important business to deal with. Something that we do here every couple evenings. The lady comes for training with some of her lessers." And he sits down. We do have some, being the fact that I help people that are unwell, I also run across people who are unwell spiritually, and it is not a physical malady that can be cured. However, it is a spiritual malady that needs to be healed, usually in the form of
therapy.
The undead.
Oh.
He says.
Undead therapy.
Yes. So oftentimes the priestess will come with some lesser priestesses to train them and to deal with things herself firsthand.
Sure.
And also to check over the others, people that need magical healing, things that cannot be done with rudimentary. He doesn't say rudimentary, with scholastic medical knowledge. Sometimes things need to be dealt with with a quicker hand.
That is one very helpful thing about a place as steeped in magic as Galarian.
So I was told you were sent by Riley. He goes by Mr. Savage.
Correct.
Can I inquire what this is about, or is this a secret thing? Are you working secondarily from Dexter or Mordock?
Well,
he doesn't use first names. He uses Lord Farbringer. He uses Master Drake. That sounds weird, but
primarily we are employed by Mr. Savage, as you say, although I'm sure the others that you mentioned will have their hand in it somewhere at some point.
Yeah, Nick goes, "We do a lot of work for Dexter. And this is kind of a secondary, because we work for Dexter. Dexter reported us to Riley, actually to Mordock, and then Mordock suggested us to Riley. It's kind of a triplical thing around I don't know what the words are."
We get gainfully employed by as their problem solvers when they need something a little more. And
Ah.
then I look at myself and I look at Nick and I look at and Nick's cat probably sleeping in the corner somewhere. And be like, well, I'd say less subtle, but that's
And
probably a lie.
your corgi is literally sitting on his butt on the couch, upright,
Okay,
like sitting upright like a human.
sure.
But because he's got little short stubby paws, it's like, and then he goes like this a little bit. He's nodding, but he's like trying to sit as humanly as possible. But because he's a corgi, it's so difficult, and it just can't not look cute.
So yeah, we are employed by Riley on Riley's behalf for this, and we are. I look over at Nick. I don't think we're necessary. I mean, while we want to kind of keep it relatively quiet, I don't think we're necessarily under some sort of covert operation per se, but we're trying to help make the wedding the event it's supposed to be by convincing some of those that are perhaps a bit on the fence whether or not to go to make the ceremony the the gala event of the year as it were,
Ah.
but also to kind of help seat some of the different political ties and agreements. It's as political as it is romantic, I guess. Well,
He nods.
yeah,
I understand. I believe most of the venture captains that they know are invited to the wedding. So I hope to be there if I can get away from my work.
understandable.
I assure you, whatever they need and whatever help I can do for you on your mission here in Califas, or if you're going elsewhere as well. I don't know if you're doing other work throughout Ustalav.
Well, I know we're starting here just because we're focusing on the prince as kind of the first step, but admittedly, we have suffice it to say, a list of individuals that we will eventually need to approach to convince them that this is worth their time and energy.
Oh, excellent. Well, I do know some
But
notable people and nobility throughout the Ustalavic world. I've traveled it quite extensively.
well, and we admittedly, I think at least we've started our process a little bit by speaking with the head of the Phrasman Temple. We were able to touch base with her briefly.
This is the gentleman that was standing at the doorway at the end. This is the same guy. I should have specified that. This is the one that came and got her.
As you saw, or may have observed, no doubt.
Yes, you were speaking to her when I arrived. I was busy getting set up.
Understandable. So we have a good intro, but of course, any insight you can give us into navigating some of these political waters.
He goes, well, one of the major things that you're going to probably need to know, and I know this fairly well, is that this was not always the capital city of Ustalav.
Oh.
The prince's father had moved it from the city of Ardis to Califas, and there are many people that are not too pleased. Of course, the Countess built the giant spire castle that you see. The moment it was announced, like that entire building was on her dime.
I see.
So that is a major point of contention amongst the nobles, as the, what is it, 30 years ago now, 20 years ago, I don't remember. They moved the capital, and this became the capital of Ustalav.
So only for the past couple of decades.
Yes. It's very fresh in many of the nobles' minds.
Interesting.
The fact that they moved the capital from Ardis to Caliphas has left Ardis in somewhat of a moment of disarray.
Just you don't necessarily have to swap the map, but roughly how far away is Ardis from Caliphas?
Ardis is actually one of the towns you guys will eventually have to go to.
Okay.
Ardis is in the Ardeel County, and it's not hard for me to switch the map. I just go like this. Boop.
Oh, Ardeel. Okay, so that's right there. Okay, gotcha. Oh, there it is. All right.
Yeah. So Ardis is like right over here, right north of Lake Cavapasta.
Interesting. Okay.
So Ardis used to be the capital.
Okay. Well, yeah. Like I said, we'd appreciate any assistance you can provide, and as you know how to travel or tread through these waters, if you have any suggestions or insight above and beyond the what you've already given, I mean, we're happy to.
Yeah, he mentions that particularly upset about it is Countess Solismina Vanekdalia is particularly upset. And to you, that name is familiar because she is one of the people you have to convince to come to the party.
Oh, okay.
She is on your list.
Wow, that could prove troublesome. Or possibly we can work with that. Admittedly, she's one of the people we'll eventually have to reach out to.
He goes, I could potentially help. With that.
Okay.
I am friends with a noble who lives in Ardis, who is very well known and famous. I have been friends with her for many years. She spent much time with helping my research. I could perhaps introduce you to her, and she, in kind, might be able to get you a chance to meet with the Countess.
We would appreciate that a lot. You sound tentative, though. Is there...
Just don't tell her you're a Pathfinder.
Very well.
Matt nods because he knows. Likely, well, the last Pathfinder the Pathfinder before the last Pathfinder I sent there was shot with a crossbow.
Oh, lovely.
But since then, she has sent me a letter thanking me for the last Pathfinder I sent her, who helped her with some things. And she has since become friends with the Lord Farbringer, from what I understand. So if you're in good standing with Lord Farbringer, there's a much better chance you would be able to meet with her as well. However, on the understanding that he is busy at the moment, but I could still write you an introduction letter. She and I are still friends.
If you'd be willing to do so, that we would very much appreciate it. Admittedly, when it comes to Lord Farbringer,
He doesn't need a sense motive. He catches it. He's like, I understand. I've never met the man, but I've heard.
well, let's just say we, and I kind of gesture to Nick and kind of back towards Matt, have had a tumultuous relationship with Lord Mordock.
Nick just blurts out, he sent us to the fucking plane of fire on accident.
On accident.
Lord Farquaad. And this is the moment where, because Dr. Trice is very educated. He is very smart. He knows what being sent to the plane of fire means, and the fact that you're still alive says something about this group. He's like, oh. Well, whatever it is I can do to help, I will help. If you need me to write a letter of introduction to Lady Kindler, I can certainly do that.
That would be wonderful.
Just let me know when you're planning on leaving Halifax, and I will write that for you.
Absolutely. And
if there's anything else you need, you can talk to myself or Lady Linus. She's willing to help. Chances are you'll be seeing more of her than me.
Of course.
And you realize he's got
you.
like a stack of like manila files in his hand, and they're all separated by like essentially paper clips.
Seems like he's hopping with both the lodge and the
right
and the asylum portion.
Right. He goes, actually, speaking of, and he pulls out one of the files and he flips through. He's like, "You're in the plane of fire. Do you speak Ignan by chance?" Or he goes, "Do you read and write Ignan by chance?"
I do not. Admittedly, we weren't there long enough to learn the language so much.
Nick goes, "I do."
Oh, well, there you go.
And he's like, "Oh, could you translate this inscription somebody got off of an ancient ruins about 45 miles north of here?" And hands it to Nick. And Nick reads it and he's like, "If for whoever shall pass this area should be engulfed in the flames of death, pursue at your own risk, for the portal may open at any time. Stay safe and stay cool." He's like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's about what it says in Ignan. He's like, oh. And he's like, I will. Can you write that down for me? Can you like make a copy of this? We've got a person here that just came in. And Nick's like, sure. You know, does Pathfinder stuff.
Okay.
He asks you a bunch of other like mundane questions, things about like what you've done and some of the things you've seen. And when he finds out about the Mwangi, he has all these Mwangi expanse questions. He's never been to the Mwangi, you know, asking about the cultures and the tribes and the people and the locals and the, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But he only takes up about an hour and a half of your time because he really does want to get to know you guys.
Sure.
And then he's like, I will keep you no longer. I am sure you are tired. I've got to deliver these to the other people staying here. and then I myself need to get a couple hours of rest. And then
Thanks again for your assistance.
and then he
you
ex-
have a great evening.
He excuses himself.
And then I go to bed.
And then you go to bed. We all go to bed. The people in chat, go to bed. That is where we're going to end it. And guess what, Brian? Guess what? Guess what you don't have to do? Guess what you don't have to do, Brian? Can you guess?
Make a fortitude save to forget shit.
Don't have to make a fortitude save to see if you forget shit. That is absolutely true. 110% true. You are absolutely correct. All right. I believe I'm going to look and see here. You know, we're going to do this. All right, guys, we're going to raid on out. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you being here. Pam Directs, thank you for the raid. Everybody from Pam Directs' raid, if you've stuck around this long, thank you for being here. Feel free to click that follow button. Of course, to those of you who came along on the raid and clicked follow, thank you so much for that. We'll be back tomorrow between somewhere between 10 and noon. I'm hoping to aim for 10, but it might be late just because it's me we're talking about. I am hoping to run some more of the Ember Vale tomorrow. So we're going to run Ember Vale tomorrow since I do have a doctor's appointment that got shifted on me. So I wasn't quite sure I could do a full Ember Vale on Friday. So we're going to do it tomorrow on Thursday, and then we're going to just play by ear how Friday goes. So join me tomorrow for Ember Vale, and if we die right away, then I'll just do more Dark and Darker while we wait. But I'm guessing you guys have leveled up some characters, and maybe we'll get a few people in to play Ember Vale tomorrow. So, but like I said, we'll do Dark and Darker in the background as well until we can get enough people to run that. So come and join me tomorrow for that. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And of course to Brian and Matt, thank you so much for being here today. We're finally in Caliphas on the next part of our adventure. So we are going to raid out to our friend Identity Crisis VR. He is an amazing streamer. Virtual reality is his game. VR is his game. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of ridiculous. You can make pop-ups. You can make zombies show up on his VR. It shows up in his headset. So when like a zombie comes up on the screen, he goes, "Bleh." He sees that like it's right there in front of him in VR. So it's a lot of fun. Go and give him some trollins and say hello to our good friend Identity Crisis VR, or as Brian and I know him as Captain Jerome Flynn, the pirate extraordinaire. Thank you guys for being here. Take care and good night.